Some absolutely thrilling races Saturday on the first day in Stop 5 of the ISU Short Track World Tour. There's no point guessing what is next in store other than one thing. Expect the unexpected. The final session of competition from the Ice Sports Centrum in Tilburg, North Brabant, Netherlands, is at hand. Wherever you may be around the world, one thing is for certain: buckle up. It's time to feel the rush in Tilburg. Gavin Day here, Tyler Dara, happy to guide you through one final session from here in the Netherlands. Milan awaits, Tyler, but still a lot to come here.
Absolutely, a lot of great races going to be coming today. We're entering the later stages of the World Cup Tour. We have two more events for the individual side of the women today. We have one for the men, and of course we have the kickoff of the mixed relay, finishing with the men's relay today. It's going to be some great racing, and we'll be keeping a close eye on the point standings as we go through the rounds and watching that heated battle on the women's side with those top four skaters. Just going to be down to the wire this season.
Hannah Desmet really shaking things up yesterday with gold in the 1,000 meters, throwing her hat into the ring into consideration. Corin Stoddard getting up there as well. So whatever happens, there's going to be a big reshuffling today with the likes of Sandra Velsborg, Kristen Santos Griswold. All we could say is let's get ready to go. You see the schedule coming up. We always start on a high, and we continue pretty much on a high throughout the entire day. But we have the mixed relay B final and A final coming up in just a few moments. We wait for the racing lights to come back up. But the fans here in the Netherlands passionate for this sport. For the longest time, it really was for long track. Short track may be secondary, but it's really just come along, and the enthusiasm for both disciplines just on display.
On this mixed relay, Gavin, coming up, we have the absence of the Korean White Tigers, as we talked about. They're currently the world #1 in the mixed relay. And then with the fall, the unfortunate wipeout with the Ice Maples in the semifinals, that's certainly opened up some opportunities for some other teams to make a push for the podium, which include the Italian Gladiators and the Polish Hussar. So we'll be watching to see if they can get their first medals this season in the mixed gender relay.
So far, 4 stops on the World Tour, 4 different winners in the mixed gender relay. The only one who has won in the A final will be the Dutch Lions, but it's going to be a completely different podium as well from the last stop in Seoul. That was won by the White Tigers, and as Tyler mentioned, they are not here. Their team is over at the Asian Winter Games, but we expect their return for the Olympic test event next weekend in Milan. Silver in Seoul was the Chinese Lungs, and then the Ice Maples, Tyler mentioned. They spilled out in the semifinals. If you weren't able to join us yesterday, that is what happened. But first, we do have the B final. Of course, points invaluable for the Team Crystal Globe standing, so even if you're not racing for the medals, you're racing here for the points.
Well, we talked about it a bit yesterday, Gavin. The mixed relay is really more of a sprint relay. It's only 18 laps long, so it may start a little bit controlled, but if you blink for a second, the race is going to be on. So pay close attention as we go through these two races.
B final coming up has the Chinese Lungs, the Hungarian Falcons, the Belgian Ice Bears, and the Canadian Ice Maples. They're just about ready to come onto the ice. For a team like the Belgians, we only have 2 women entered. Having this mixed gender relay is nice to get into the relays.
Well, it's great to see the Belgian Ice Bears having some great success in their relays this weekend. The men's team has done terrifically. We'll be seeing more of them later today. And of course, you've got the sibling duo of the Desmets, who really give them a good opportunity to be competitive in this mixed gender relay.
Desmet yesterday, emphatic win in the 1,000. Hit the front with about a lap to go and just pulled away from the field.
We're going to be saying that name a lot today.
I have a feeling she is on some absolutely outstanding form. Of course, since there are only 2 women entered for the Belgian side, we do know it is Tineke Dentalk and Hannah Desmet entered for them. Bit of a change. For the male entrant, there is Yara Noachon. And I believe there was one, they had an extra skater out for the warm-up. He's getting off. It was Enzo Prost, but now Stan Desmet is on the ice for the Belgian Ice Bears.
That was interesting. I wonder if Prost was just trying to get out and feel the ice quickly. I see he's chatting with his coach off the ice now, but there was 3 of them on at one point, 3 male Ice Bears on the ice.
Maybe just some confusion. I thought I was going. Anyway, they're lined up. Starting things off is Song Jiari for the Chinese Lungs. It's party time here in Tilburg. Zofia Konya for the Falcons, Tineke Dendulk for the Ice Bears, and Canada, Kim Boutin for the Ice Maples.
Ready.
Well, the Ice Maples like to race from the front. Kim Boutin using her quick start to move them up to second position.
Boutin was out in position number 4, one of the best 500-meter starters in the world. So often jumping to the right to the front in the 500 meters. Much more difficult from out there in position number 4, but she is slotted up into second right now. First exchanges, there was an opening perhaps for the Ice Maples, but Florence Brunel wasn't able to scoot on through.
There now, Florence Brunel gets her look up the inside, takes the lead for the Ice Maples.
And that is Sarah Luca Backsky getting up into second as the Lungs go down.
Got to get a quick tag up.
Much more difficult when there's the genders, everybody's in a certain position. It's not as easy to tag up in this relay. But it's Felix Roussel on the front for the Canadian side.
Yeah, Felix Roussel building a nice lead here for the Canadian Ice Maples. So we got the Belgian Ice Bears jumping up the inside of the Falcons. Nice pass by Stan Desmet.
There's Desmet now having to close some open ice there. It is Jordan Pierre-Gilles, another outstanding sprinter for the Canadian side. Silver yesterday in the 500 meters. Yara Noircon having to close, but the Falcons are battling back, not done yet in third.
Yashapati might be looking for a pass here. He is.
Peter Yashapati makes it stick, and the women's skaters are back in. Zofia Konya for the Falcons. And it is Kim Boutin. Clear air in front of her, room to work with.
Well, once you get that comfortable lead in the relay, it kind of leaves the other teams to be battling it out amongst each other and helps you even get a further lead as long as you don't slow down too much on the pace.
Boutin to Brunel. Smooth as you like, the well-drilled Canadian side.
Well, we have a great race for second here between the Ice Bears and the Falcons. Hannah Desmet looking outside. Great corner exit.
Desmet right in time for the exchange, but the Falcons taking it right back. That is Benson Nogradi on the front. You hear the gun, one more exchange. It's Jordan Pierre-Gilles coming in for the Canadians. It is Peter Yashapati for the Falcons, and it is, of course, Stan Desmet for the Belgian side. And he has one thing in mind, is to get up into second.
And Stan Desmet's got the speed. He showed he could pass already in this relay. 2 crossovers in. Great exit. Does he go wide? Looking wide on the outside. Can he get the wrap? Oh.
It is Jordan Pierre-Gilles taking the B final for the Canadians. And Desmet does make that move stick for second, just in front of Peter Yashapati. Not a bad opener to the day.
Well, the Canadian Ice Maples really just textbook execution there in the relay. We had that wipeout by the Chinese Lungs. That created a little bit of chaos amongst the pack and just allowed the Ice Maples to get out to a nice lead.
So invaluable points in the Team Crystal Globe standings. The Canadians have a healthy advantage. We will lose it, obviously, some points to the teams in the A final, but when you're just trying to scrap for every point you can, it'll be invaluable for the Canadians as they really do close in on that Team Crystal Globe standing.
Yeah, absolutely. As we know, heading into this weekend, they were ranked #1 with a fair margin ahead of the White Tigers. The absence of the White Tigers means they aren't collecting any points this weekend on the World Tour. So that certainly creates a larger margin of victory for the Canadian Ice Maples in that team point standings, but lots more racing to come.
The B final teams skate out onto the ice, put a little showtime into the A final. They bring out the backdrop. They put the Crystal Globe trophy precariously right in front of it. And they'll do the introductions for each of the teams, and they'll have a chance to gaze longingly at that trophy. Skaters left on the ice, not a bad way to open things off. We do catch a quick breather as well. After this, we'll do the medal ceremony, do the 50, and then it's, I believe, an ice resurface, and then the women's 1500-meter semis.
Well, that B final got a little bit spread out. I don't think that's going to be the story in this A final. I think we're going to see these teams nice and tight together.
Italian Gladiators, Dutch Lions, USA Eagles, Polish Hussars, we will throw down for their introductions.
Je weet het, na het strafschot hoor je heel even niks. De eerste bocht kan de wedstrijd nog teruggeschoten worden. Maar na die eerste bocht ging je los. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the mixed team relay A final. On first starting position.
That music doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. Skaters now probably feeling ready to skate through a wall. A whole lot of sprinters out there on the ice for the mixed relay final. And a young skater like Sean Shui of the USA Eagles thrown into an A final.
Well, he's been impressively quick this weekend. Here's an opportunity for him to earn his first World Tour medal.
Ariana Siegel, Michelle Velsboer, Corin Stoddart, and Natalia Malashevska.
Go to the start. Ready.
In these races, the Dutch Lions have maybe the best opener, some of the best openers when you have Velsboer and Velsboer, absolute powerhouses to lead things off.
And in some of the other relays, the 3,000 meter relay, the 5,000 meter relay, the start is less critical. But in the mixed gender relay, the start does have an impact. You want to be controlling the race from the front. You're going to get cleaner exchanges. And we're already in the quick speed, the quick sprint laps of a race.
Sandra Velsboer out in front. Gloria Ioriati trying to get into that slipstream a little bit, but she has Kristen Santos Griswold right behind her. And Kamila Stormovska trying to hang on as each skater goes 2.5 laps. And then each skater will go 2 laps the second time round. In comes Toon Boer for the Dutch Lions.
Kristen Santos Griswold did a great job positioning the Eagles up into second position there. Sean Shui tucked into second.
Boer out in front. He has Thomas Natalini right behind him, and then DNA Cillier. Cillier will go to Michał Niewinski. Pietro Siegel on the Gladiators. Andrew Hio for the Eagles. And Jens van het Wout for the Dutch Lions.
Jens van het Wout creating a little bit of a gap behind him. That opens up some space for the Gladiators, and there's Petro Siegel taking advantage of it. Oh, it's a tight entry with Andrew Hio.
He goes through. Hio does go out wide a little bit. That will be subject to review. You see the little yellow dot in the corner of your screen. Now it is Michelle Velzeboer, Ariana Siegel, Koren Stoddard trying to close now.
Natalia Malashevska trying to close that gap, get the Hussar back in the race. She didn't have a great exchange with Nowinski.
And it is 3 and just about to be 4 as good work done by Kamila Stormovska, really closing the gap. Santos Griswold spills.
Kristen Santos Griswold just came back on her heels at the exit of the turn, just lost control. Corey Stoddard tags up, but now we got 3 in the race.
And it is Toon Boer, Thomas Natalini, DNA Cellier getting right up there. The Dutch hanging on. Of course, they have an absolute powerhouse to finish things off in Jens van het Wout.
DNA Cellier looking up second. Nowinski getting out on the exchange. Natalini almost goes inside. Nowinski back into second.
It was absolute confusion there with Nowinski going for the change. Natalini stayed out on the ice instead of Petro Siegel going in. It is Jens van het Wout claiming victory for the Dutch.
Wow. Well, lost to review there. First off, Dutch Lions, great race. They stayed out front. They stayed clean. I don't see anything impacting that result for them, but there's a lot to unpack on that exchange with the Hussar and the Gladiators. We saw DNA Cellier making that pass in a section on the exchange corner. I don't think his teammate, Mikhail Nowinski, was expecting that, so he had to jump up, try to reposition himself quickly. Had some contact with Petro Siegel. That made the missed exchange, but you got to follow an exchange order here, so that could impact the Italians as well.
So the first incident that was reviewed was the pass here. It has been cleared. So that's not going to be subject to anything, but what is that potential, they say it's a potential obstruction by an infield skater.
There's
so that's
Kristen.
Santos Griswold going down on her own.
Yeah, she just got caught back on her heels on the exit of that turn. Here's that exchange. Nowinski comes across, clips with Petro Siegel. And then Natalini keeps going, so then the Italians don't have their exchange order followed. This is when we say we leave it to the officials to
You watch at home, you can decide amongst yourselves what should happen. We'll let the experienced pros who decide these things make it happen. One thing I think is for sure is that
we can count on that. You know, this could play to the hands of the USA Eagles as well if there is a disqualification or penalty, despite them having finished fourth. So
yeah, there was the confusion that came always on the exchanges. Nowinski had to get into a different position to accept that pass, and that's where the collision with Siegel came from, as you were explaining. And so those exchanges always tricky.
Well, one thing's for sure, the Dutch Lions delivered for their home crowd.
They've been filing in here for the better part of an hour, and here is the ruling down on the ice.
After review, we give penalty to Team Poland.
There is the ruling. Penalty to Poland. They touched the blade, crossing in front, and that caused the fall, is what they say. So, Gladiators get silver, and the USA Eagles pick up a bronze medal. Unfortunate for the Polish Hussars. Still not a medal in the mixed relay this season, and here it is.
So here's the pass. DNA Cellier, great pass. He gets in there. That pass is clean. It's this incident as Nowinski gets back into position for the exchange. And then almost goes down on the exchange himself.
Well, there you have it. Medal presentation coming up in just a few moments. Not a bad way to start, as always. Breathless to the very end. And in this case, the home fans getting their just rewards.
And it's interesting with the Italian Gladiators there with Petro Siegel going down as he's exchanging with Natalini. So they kind of have an exchange, but maybe they're assessing that as also a tag up because Petro Siegel was already falling as Natalini made contact with him. So just a bizarre circumstance there on the exchange. Natalini getting his hair prepped.
Down to the ice for the medal presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is the medal ceremony for the mixed team relay 2,000 meter at the ISU Short Track World Tour Tilburg 2025 Odino Cup. The medals will be presented by our chief referee, Beata Padar. And the presents will be presented by our tournament director, Mr. Cees Juffermans. In third place and winners of the bronze medal, Andrew Hill, Marcus Howard, Brandon Kim, Kristen Santos Griswold, Sean Shuey, and Corinne Stoddard, the American Eagles. Ze krijgen natuurlijk de medailles en ze krijgen de originele carnavalssjaal van Kruikenstad Tilburg. In de originele kleuren. Vanaf nu kent iedereen in Amerika Tilburg. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Eagles. In second place and winners of the silver medal, the Italian Gladiators. Chiara Betti, Elisa Confortola, Gloria Ioriati, Thomas Nadalini, Lorenzo Previtali, Ariana Siegel, Pietro Siegel, Luca Speckenhauser. Ladies and gentlemen, signore e signori, the Italian Gladiators. And in first place, winners of the gold medal. Hier zijn ze Tilburg, Teun Boer, Jens van het Woud, Michelle Velzenboer, Xandra Velzenboer, the Dutch Lions Team ML.
Is hij een meisje? Ja, zie je dat elke keer, hè? Ja.
Ja, Tilburg, daar staan ze. Het is Polonaise. Het is de Dutch Lions. Xandra, Michelle, Teun en Jens.
kick things off. That was Yara van Kerkhof on your screen. Retired after last season, one of the great relay skaters from the Dutch program. Of course, she also skated individually very well, but she was really a glue skater. Held that team together. But the Dutch Lions celebrate another victory here at home. And they get those orange and green carnival scarves coming up at the end of the month. But around here, it already feels like it's getting started. People out in orange and green all over the region here.
Gonna need to get a bigger banner out here.
Yeah, with that many skaters, Italy going with the full roster, just about 4 men, 4 women, 8 medals given out. Of course, those are the skaters who went the earlier rounds. They get included in the medals. As you look back at the house, they were pointing to messages on their kits. One up, little one by their heart, a short message, and then one on their leg as well. Wout takes the victory lap. Shinky connects, Zoe Deltrap there to celebrate, and then a big moment getting the medal in front of their home fans. Good way to start. We get a break now. Back in, I'm gonna say just under 15 minutes time for the women's 1500 meter semifinals as we get a look at the discipline standings for the mixed team relay. The Dutch Lions move on top. The Canadian Ice Maples in second, Green White Tigers in third, and all the way down. And we will now head into that quick pause back on the other side. Keep an eye out over the course of the break for some of the stuff we've been putting together from this week in Tilburg. We're coming up on the end of the inaugural ISU Short Track World Tour. One of the features for this first season on the new circuit was the team identities. Let's take a look at some more of the teams we've met over the course of this season.
We are the Croatian Dalmatians. Dalmatians are an authentic Croatian dog breed. They've existed already for around 4,000 years. They've been used in the history as the battle dogs. We just wanted to choose something that's original to us. Yeah, we would like to take that combativity to the ice. I really like I like the mascot. It feels nice to have this suit.
This year I'll be representing Latvian Golden Stars. The team name actually is coming from a monument that is located in Riga, in the center of Riga. It's called Milda, and she's actually holding 3 stars, so it's kind of where the logo is coming from. I mean, I'm always happy to represent my country, and I mean, this year it's like different teams, different logos, different names. So I mean, we'll see how we compare, but I will try to do my best and see how it goes.
We are the Swiss Ibex. The Ibex is a famous mountain goat in Switzerland. You can see them on pretty much every mountain in Switzerland. Every hike you go on, you'll encounter one face to face. They're really a symbol of Switzerland because they'll just stand fearlessly on the edge of a cliff. It's a 300-meter drop and they don't seem to care. Being in this sport, going into those turns, you really have to have an element of fearlessness to throw yourself out to the max. I really like that every team, every country gets to show a side of themselves that, might not necessarily be the first thing you think about, but also something that they're proud of, that they want to share with the world, and a personality trait of their nation.
We are the Kazakh nomads. Like long time ago, the Kazakh people didn't live in one place. They always move to the other place, this kind of style of nomad. And we have the horse in our logo. It's very, very important animal in Kazakhstan. We love horse. The Kazakh national and Kazakh people, they understand why we call it nomads. That's very important.
We are the racing roos. Roos as in kangaroos, and we have an abundance of kangaroos in Australia. It's a big honor to have the Australian symbol on my chest for the races. I have pride in my country when I wear the racing ruse.
พวกเราคือ Thai Elephant ช้างเป็นสัญลักษณ์ประจำประเทศไทยแล้วก็ใช้ในการสู้รบนี่มันเป็นสัญลักษณ์ที่สำคัญของประเทศไทยใช่แบบมันเป็นสัญลักษณ์ที่ทำให้มี power หนูอยากใส่ลงไปแข่งในสนามรู้สึกภูมิใจที่ได้ใส่แล้วก็มี power ที่จะแข่งขัน
Matt Tyler, this short track world tour has been in North America. It's been in Asia. Now we're finishing off with the European swing. It's been fun for both of us so far this season. What's really stood out to you?
What stood out to me the most is the new format of the World Tour. I love the change that they've made from the past World Cup, where we had 4 events going just to the 3 500,000, 1,500 meter event, where we see the biggest names race after race. In the past, skaters had to kind of pick and choose where they're going to put their energy, where they were going to put their focus. But this year, we get to see the big names in every single event, time and time again, making for the best races that we could ask for.
And the racers are skating for the medals on day 2 here in Tilburg. Let's take a look back at the best of yesterday's action.
Netherlands is like a nice country to have a competition because the fans, there is like many fans, and like the feeling, like they are cheering for everybody, is feeling really nice and it's really helpful.
Welcome to the Ice Sports Centrum. A whole lot of the story remains to be written. The home stretch of the inaugural ISU Short Track World Tour begins this afternoon in Tilburg. It is Donjanu again.
I did a good tactical race, and of course the guys are so strong, so yeah, especially Jens is very strong, and in front of his whole crowd, I think he wanted to really make a show, and I think it worked.
It is Hannah Desmet now pouring away. She is going to take the 1,000.
Yeah, I always love racing in the Netherlands. I lived here for a long time, and there's a lot of people from home too, so it's amazing.
Donjanu into Miata, into Jens van het Wout. It is Steven Dubois who will take the victory. Jordan Pierre-Gilles for second.
Ice like this, it's a bit more soft, so it chips a lot, it breaks a lot. I think you have to get your max speed as soon as you can, and it creates a bit of a buffer behind me, and I think that's super important. I had the strategy all along, and it works great for me.
No real movement just yet inside 21 laps, but we await the moment.
There we go, the Gladiators moving to the front of the race. Sandra Belzborg setting up wide, looking inside.
Montana can't defend it. Will be Dutch Lions at home, or is it? Oh! It is the Netherlands by 0.02 of a second.
We really wanted that win, and we were getting closer, and that it just, right now, all came together. It's just really great.
Ik ben gewoon echt zo trots op ons allemaal dat we het nu gewoon doen. Zet nog niet helemaal, maar ja, we zijn gewoon Olympisch kampioen.
De eerste wereldtitel op de aflossing voor Nederland. Yara van Kerkhof. Van Kerkhof gaat de bocht in en naar de finale. Een wonder in Dongen. We gaan met de uitpak van Kerkhof. Jordan en Yara van Kerkhof pakken de bronzen medaille. Het is zilver. Een onvergetelijke dag voor haar.
heeft de pitbull vandaag getoond, kijk, dit is Yara van Kerkhof.
Denk ik wel, ja.
Dit is Yara van Kerkhof. Alle kleuren Olympische medailles. 3 wereldtitels, 10 Europese titels, 2 nationale titels, 17 World Tour zeges. Als 18 met de individuele erbij. Bij zulke prestaties hoort een hele speciale onderscheiding. Ik wil graag hier bij ons op het podium de technisch directeur van de Koninklijke Nederlandse Schaatsrijdersbond, de technical director, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Remy de Wit.
Toch stiekem spannend, hè? Eigenlijk veel te kort tijd, overal en ergens om jou te bedanken voor wat je betekend hebt voor onze sport. 16 jaar lang een topsportcarrière, ongekend. Het debuut in 2008 tot uiteindelijk het WK goud in Ahoy vorig seizoen. We willen je als KNSB enorm bedanken en geven je uiteraard ook de gouden speld. Maar binnen het shorttrack groeide je niet alleen uit door je successen, maar je was voor de ploeg en veel vandaag zijn hier om jou uit te zwaaien een enorm cement. Veel mensen zien dat niet, maar jij was altijd achter de schermen, de boel bij elkaar aan het rapen, positiviteit, op zoek naar kansen. 9, werd al gezegd, 9 Europese titels, 3 wereldtitels, Olympisch brons in Pyeongchang, Olympisch goud in Beijing, individueel zilver op de 500 meter. Daarmee was je de eerste Nederlandse vrouw met een shorttrack medaille. Als laatste, we zijn van mening dat in de opmars van het shorttrack Nederland jij een bijzonder grote rol gespeeld hebt. Persoonlijk hoop ik dat je nog heel lang bij ons betrokken blijft. Verdien je alle eer en hoop ik dat je als je zo meteen op het ijs gaat, dat er een oorverdovend applaus speciaal en alleen voor jou is. Yara, dankjewel.
Ja, we willen je graag ook even de gelegenheid geven om straks nog een ereronde te rijden. Daar gaan we het wedstrijd is zoals bij aan doen. Maar ik wil je ook graag de gelegenheid geven om nog even wat tegen de shorttrack wereld, tegen de fans en tegen je familie te zeggen.
Ja, wat zeg je dan op zo'n moment? Het was een hele lange en hele mooie reis. En ik heb die niet kunnen maken zonder mijn familie, mijn vrienden, mijn coaches en alle stafleden om me heen, alle teamgenoten, sponsoren. Maar ik wil vooral ook nu de kans aangrijpen om het publiek te bedanken. Want de wedstrijden in Nederland waren echt het allermooist. En dat is iedereen voor ons juist. Ik vind het gewoon geweldig om te zien hoe het zo gegroeid is, het shorttrack in Nederland. En ja, ik hoop dat het publiek nog heel lang van het shorttrack gaat genieten. En ik ga dat zeker ook doen, ook op de stoeltjes in de tribune.
Yara van Kerkhof, dankjewel. We gaan jou het ijs opsturen. Je hebt je schaatsen al aan. Op 7-jarige leeftijd.
Looks like they're still starting this pretty much on time. It was Yara van Kerkhof who was getting honored over the break. Nice montage to the great skater, silver medalist in the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang in the women's 500 meters. What's interesting is that she never had an individual World Cup medal, but just an integral part of so many great Dutch relay sides that she getting a nice honor. A lot of people speaking with her now as she makes her way up. She had her skates on. I don't think she's making it onto the ice because we're getting right back to the action.
Thought she might get a victory lap there, a celebration lap, but great to see the recognition. Here she is getting on the ice.
Oh, there she is. And she gets a nice picture with all, it looks like all nice messages written on the back. And she was a member of, she did compete at the World Championships last year in Rotterdam, where the Dutch women won gold.
I always think it's great when the organizations put in the effort to recognize the athletes that have spent so much time on their teams and dedicated their lives to this sport and their country. So great to see this moment for Yara van Kerkhof. That highlight reel video was getting me choked up. I don't know about you, Gavin, but very nice to see.
You always do love the emotional, heart-wrenching videos and just moments of looking up at a scoreboard waiting to see whether they were penalties or medals, and Yeah, nice emotion here. Van Kerkhof, now really an advocate for heart research. She had open heart surgery as a child when she was 7 years old, and a great career. Getting a moment to be honored here.
You know, as an athlete too, you just kind of stop racing, and a lot of time that's kind of just the end. So you don't always get a celebration like this, so very nice to see.
Considering there are only 6 stops on the World Tour, not every skater from every country will get a chance for this moment. And she stands and watches as the 1500-meter semifinals, heat number 1 on the women's side. Just shares a laugh there quickly with Ariana Seagull.
Er staat nog veel op het programma.
1500 meters for women. 3 heats. All of them have 7 skaters each. Top 2 from each race, and up to 1 fastest third place skater qualify for the A final. Kristen Santos Griswold out for points now. Did not make it to the semis in the 1000 meters yesterday. Seeing her, it was a tiny lead. We knew it was going to be close all the way, but this is her chance to strike back.
Bit of a difficult weekend thus far for Kristen Santos Griswold. Nice to see her still get the medal in that mixed relay, although she had an unfortunate wipeout, but she'll be looking to make amends now, and she's in a very tight battle with Sandra Velzebor for that Crystal Globe title this season.
Confortola, Shilice Nemeth, Stormovska, Somodi, Santos Griswold, Zhang, and Olivier.
Go to the start. Ready.
Olivier seems to be okay. It was in a 500-meter repechage. For those of you not with us, she took a tumble and looked like she landed right on her hip, right where there's nothing really protecting the bone. But she got up. She did end up doing the race, and here she is in the semifinals. 1500, and it is Rebecca Shilice Nemeth of the Hungarian Falcons on the front. She does have a teammate in this race with her, but now no worries about, well, there is a worry about time advancement, so it's not the slowest of starts.
And this is a really quick turnaround for Kristen Santos Griswold as well as Stormovska. They were both just in the mixed relay final. So I think about only 16 minutes from that race to this 1500-meter semi. And now we see Kristen making a move on the outside.
A lot of skaters have the same idea in mind, and it's creating this just blob of skaters.
Well, you see Kristen Santos go, and are you thinking to yourself, all right, I got to be ready. I want to try to get up and behind her.
And it's Elisa Confortola of the Italian Gladiators. Double bronze medalist at the European Championships a couple weeks ago. Won a European Championship a year ago.
Modi working on the outside, tucking into second behind Stormovska.
Camila Stormovska on the front, coming up to C5 to go.
Watch for Zhang in the back. She's winding up, trying to build some speed on the outside, but I think Kristen will probably react to that as well as she steps wide. Now she's looking to go around the long way.
Elisa Confortola trying to follow. Up the inside go the Falcons. And all that, Stormovska kind of squeezed out. Now there's a gap opened up. Santos Griswold, Confortola. The rest of the field needs to chase now. 2 to go.
Well, nice clean lead.
And there's a bump. Stormovska into Olivier, and Olivier goes down. Zhang came down behind them, wasn't involved in that collision. That'll be reviewed. But it is Santos Griswold and Confortola 1-2. And Shilice Nemeth getting up for third, and Chloe Olivier another bump. This time I don't think it's her hip, it looks like her arm.
Yeah, holding that right elbow. Again, another spot where you don't have much padding. Go down on that elbow, it's gonna hurt.
She's getting straight skin on bone. Not a lot of fat protecting there, or a lot of muscle. Kudos to her. Chloe Olivier still gets up to finish the race. Gets the nice ovation.
So that pass on the inside, that was Samodi there. That just really broke up the pack, created some separation for Confortala and Santos Griswold to kind of skate away in this race.
Oh, and the blade of Zhang hit Olivier's elbow, I think. Just my reaction to it was just, oh. So I don't know if it would have cut it or just been a nice bump on it, because it just looked like the tip.
Yep.
And it was at a pretty good speed as Zhang was coming down too. I'm not sure if that's what took Zhang out, but
I think if her elbow would have clipped Zhang's blade, that would have taken her down for sure.
So it is Stormovska being reviewed, potential lane change outside to in. We'll get a look at it, whatever the ruling is, and it would be a possible advancement to the B final for Olivier. Whether or not she can skate that was a whole other question, but just looked like it just hit it at speed. And the decision has been made.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 1-3 from Poland and advancement to final B to skater number 4-9 from France.
There you go. So penalty to Stormovska. Olivier advanced to the B final. That throws the third place right out the window, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not, because he's not going to the A final.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll get a look at that. We usually get that head-on shot, and you can see Tyler point out the red line.
Here's Stormovska in the back, pushing over to the inside. You can see her, she had exited quite wide and came across the track.
See if you get the second look right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Nothing funny about the funny bone.
No. Hopefully that's all that it is. But that was a high-speed hit right on the elbow. Heat number 2. A couple of gladiators, Ariana Fontana, Gloria Ioriati, Sandra Velsborg, the European champion, Corin Stoddart, Claudia Gagnon, Nakashima Mide, and Zoe Deltrap.
Go to the start. Ready.
Seriously, what a semifinal this is. We have a World Tour winner this season in Corin Stoddart in the 1500. You have the great Ariana Fontana, Sandra Velsborg, who won the European Championships and has shown that she's not just a 500-meter skater. And you have the likes of Ioriati, Deltrap, always involved, and a returning Claudia Gagnon to the senior circuit.
Deltrap worked her way through the repechage this morning to qualify for this 1500-meter semifinal. Claudia Gagnon wanted to take the front of this race.
Kashima Mide.
When you're in a field, when you're in a race with the depth of this field, you want to be near the front because you know you can't be caught sleeping in the back. Zoe Deltrap doing just that right now. We have the likes of Corey Stoddart, who likes to get out front too before the pace picks up, so we'll keep an eye out for her as Ariana Fontana makes her move.
Anytime anyone in orange will make a move forward, that'll draw some applause. And now they're just queuing up behind Fontana. Now Ioriati right in there. It's the smallest of openings, and Ioriati, she's one of the smaller skaters out there, so she's able to find that little opening to tuck in behind Fontana.
Well, it's really a skill. You have to learn to be able to do that too. It's kind of a bit of a speed management. Sometimes you're going to put your hand up on the skater in front of you. You're not pushing them, but maybe transferring a little bit of your speed to them to help create an opening for you.
The two in the Azzurri on the front, but Claudia Gagnon with other things in mind. There's a bump on Ioriati, who goes down. Deltrap also down behind them, unrelated.
Well, Corey Stoddart made an inside pass on Deltrap that was very tight on that entry, so there will be a review of that.
2 incidents being reviewed. Corin Stoddart going around the outside. She got back really into the Crystal Globe picture yesterday with a medal in the 1,000, and she's going all the way around to the lead. That incident will be reviewed, however.
Sandra Velzeboer blocking that inside lane tight from Claudia Gagnon.
And it is Stoddart crossing the line first, Fontana second, Velzeboer third. And now we watch to see if those hold up. So Claudia Gagnon being reviewed for the first incident in the straight, potentially coming from inside to out. That one could result in an advancement if it's ruled a penalty. Because she was in a position, in one of the advancing positions right there. Yeah. The big question, was she through? Was she past? And then there was the other one right behind. I didn't even, again, get a look at that.
See here, it's Corey Stoddart going up the inside of Deltrap, just so tight together and trying to force her way in.
They were almost side by side for a good chunk of that. So not sure what the ruling would have been. Shoulders in front, hips in front, but for the good chunk of that stretch, Stoddart was right with her.
We might need another look at these passes again.
So they're going to look at that red line again, whether if Gagnon came back on the track changing lanes, causing that contact. Again, another sigh of relief from up here in the booth that it is not us with that task. Just in the same corner. So it's 2 incidents, 4 different skaters, 1 corner.
We can see the reviewing Claudia Gagnon's pass there. She goes a little bit inside that red line we see on the straightaway, and then is making that move back over. Iriati holding her track. Now here's Corey Stoddart. It looks like Deltrap is still, it's difficult to tell from this angle.
That angle, because it kind of looked like she might have been behind, but then as they start to turn the corner, suddenly Stoddart maybe looks slightly advantage. So the first incident was cleared. They say Gagnon was back out in the lane properly, so she didn't change it kind of at the last second, changing the lane. And then also no decision on the other as well. And so Corin Stoddart to the A final, Ariana Fontana to the A final. Sandra Velzeboer has the fastest 3rd place time for the moment. And so 2 USA Eagles with Crystal Globe aspirations into the A final. And the Ice Bear of Belgium, Anna Desmet, getting herself back into the mix. Chance to really shake it up. Michelle Velzeboer in this one. There's a look at Courtney Sereau. Anna Desmet, Dene Blake, Petri Ashpati, Hirai Ami, and Valentina Askic.
Ready.
And I don't think they're worrying about time. If you're Sandra Velzeboer, you've got to be liking this, unless, of course, advancements happen.
Well, it's interesting here for Hannah Desmet, determining how she wants to play this race. She might be thinking to herself, you know what? I showcased how much stronger I am right now. Maybe I just want to stay in the front. I can control the pace from the lead. Or on the opposite side of the coin, I know how strong I am right now. I can make really easy outside passes around the field. Maybe I'm okay, comfortable sitting back a little bit more and striking at the finish, but that's a bit more of a risky strategy.
Desmet showing yesterday, making a move with around a lap to go in the 1,000 and then just dropped them. There was no keeping up with her, just showing that endurance, which 1,500 is her specialty. So this was the one coming in that she had a previous World Tour victory. It was week number 2 in Montreal. And she also picked up a silver in Seoul in the 1,500. and a silver in week number 1.
Here's Danae Blay. If I was racing against Hannah Desmet right now, I'd be thinking, I want to be in the front because I know she's going to strike, and then I want to jump on and ride that out for that second place qualifying position. That would be my game plan. But again, I'm standing up here and not skating down there. Oh, Danae Blay.
Thoreau going right in front of her. The 2 Canadian Ice Maples there, and that's just knocked the wind right out of the sails for Blay, and Desmet hits the front. I think she saw that and goes, okay, enough games. I got to hit the front and stay out of trouble.
Yeah,
Thoreau in second.
Thoreau's going to be thinking, okay, I'm just going to hold this tight. I'm going to defend this second position. Maybe she'll look for a pass, but she's looking behind her, not looking to set up. So that kind of is a tell to me that she's looking to hold that second position behind Desmet, because Desmet can really bring this speed.
Yashapati, also one to watch. If she's able to keep in touch, she is the 500-meter European champion, so there is a high top-end speed. It is Desmet, who has been on imperious form this weekend. Thoreau trying to keep contact. There is that incident earlier being reviewed, and it is Desmet dominant again. And it looks like the green dot, the incident has been cleared. They were looking for a possible lane change from inside to out, but the movement was deemed acceptable, and so it looks like Thoreau heads to the A final as well. When it comes to the time, 2:29. So once they make these results official, there was the incident.
Danae Blay just having to hit the brakes there to stay on track. But that obviously just killed her speed, just ate up all her speed she was carrying.
And just look at which Crystal Globe contenders are in the A final. Kristen Santos Griswold, Corin Stoddard, Sandra Velzebor, Hannah Desmet. Is that the top? It is just about the top 4, isn't it? Desmet, Stoddard, Santos Griswold, Velzebor, all in this A final coming up in just a little bit.
Well, that's not going to create any more separation yet for the points. They're all still in it. Well, it's great to see, though, the top 4 women that will be in the 1,500-meter, top 4 in the standings right now. And we talked about there's only a 50-point gap between Kristen Santos Griswold and Sandra Velzebor. But one of the other stories this weekend, Gavin, is, of course, Sandra Velzebor is taking the 500 meters off this weekend to rest a bit of a lingering knee issue. So she will not be competing in the 500-meter, opening up a bit of an opportunity for Kristen Santos Griswold to gain some points. But you have the likes of Hannah Desmet and Corey Stoddard. They were chomping at the bit right behind them.
If Desmet keeps winning, then you know, how might that change everything? High drama, just the way you love it. Heat number 1, men's 1,000-meter quarterfinals. Felix Roussel, Clayton De Clemente, Moonwan Jun, a guy named William Donjanu, and Rainis Berzins of the Latvian Golden Stars. There is, I can say, Crystal Globe elect, perhaps.
Go to the start. Red.
And Roussel, of course, not one to be taken lightly. He has a 1,000-meter victory from Beijing earlier this year, and 2 Canadians on the front, Clayton De Clemente, Moonwan Jun, and Rainis Berzins with work to do.
Well, Felix Roussel, as you mentioned, Gavin, 1,000-meter victory already this season. Phenomenal skater, but he's kind of a little bit sometimes stuck in the shadow of the likes of William Danjanu, Stephen Dubois, Jordan Pierre-Gilles. It's such a strong team, the Ice Maples are, so it's difficult to crack this team. So his only event individually is the 1,000-meter, but he can win it.
And he has won it. And just a reminder, 4 heats in the quarterfinals, top 2 from each race, and up to 2 of the fastest third-place skaters could move on. And right now, the 2 spots in this heat belong to the men with the maple leaf on the back.
Well, Danjanu and Roussel are really pushing the pace. We're the mid eights already, nearly from the get-go, and they've kind of been passing back and forth. So when there's passes happening like that and they've been clean, it makes it hard if you're a following skater to also jump into one of those passes. It kind of shuts them down. But Clayton De Clemente looking for something at the line here.
And it's Danjanu and Roussel, but a good battle from Clayton De Clemente, and we'll see how that third place time holds up. 1:23.43. And if you're not going to come in top two, finishing right behind those guys, maybe to your advantage.
Champions League short track. Dat zagen we net hier van de Canadezen.
Now it was a nice skate there again. There's a little bit of lead changes there. Kind of Roussel and Danjanu taking turns, pulling some laps in the front, keeping the pace high. Kind of fending everybody off just by using their speed.
If there's anyone who you can share the workload with, it might as well be a teammate, someone you know what they do with their mannerisms on the ice. Information 1:23.421, the time to watch for De Clemente, but one thing for sure.
No, that time is fast. I don't foresee another race going quicker. I might have to eat my words later, but a 1:23, that is a quick 1,000-meter time.
We have seen that a couple of first heats where you've pointed that out, so I am inclined to trust you, but of course, if there are advancements, if things go really kooky here. Anyway, heat number 2, Dan Koss fans in attendance, and their man is on the ice. Celebrated a birthday this week, but he's up against a pair of gladiators, Pietro Sigel, Thomas Natalini, Matehan Atan of the Turkish Anatolian Pars, and Steven Dubois, and this is a quarterfinal. So much to watch here.
Yeah, this is a tough one to predict. Steven Dubois, he's not typically one we see doing a lot of leading because he's such a capable passer with such a high top speed. But then you got the lights of Pietro Sigel and Natalini, who are also great fighters and competitors. They never quit.
Go to the start. Red.
We all know Dubois' top-end speed, evidenced yesterday with yet another 500-meter victory. He's given the rest of the field a bit of a head start, and Dan Koss bumped out early. Matehan Atan up into second, and that will already be reviewed.
Well, Natalini making a move. Getting to the lead, Steven Dubois following suit. You know he's going to go, look to go the wrong way around or tuck in. He's going to tuck in.
Koss battling back again, scrapping with Atan. It's Koss taking that one for fourth. At the front, Natalini and Dubois and Sigel. Well, not feel pretty quick too, though, Tyler.
Yeah, no, this is not too far off the pace of the previous race. Roussel was clocking a little bit faster. I think these skaters know how tight this field is, that they can't risk the first or second when you have the likes of the two Italian gladiators and Steven Dubois, and of course Dan Koss tracking them down in the back. So a lot of depth to this field already.
Natalini had the opening there on the inside, didn't take it. Sigel now trying to move on his teammate, and that one works. One more to go. It's Dubois followed by two Italians. Steven Dubois leading this one around. Is anyone going to try a move? Nothing too desperate. So it's Dubois, Sigel 1 and 2, and Natalini with a 1:24.28. So a little bit slower, unfortunate for the home fans, that Dan Koss finishing in fourth.
Well, this is still a quick race, just shy of a second off the previous.
We are still looking at possible arm block, but since it was in the first lap, it might not have been able to impact the race too much. So they may clear it, but they're just going to make these results official. I think that was it right there.
Yeah, the arm block of Atan on Koss.
We have a video review required to confirm that result.
The result's not confirmed yet. It was very, very early on. It did knock Koss back a little bit. He did get back into the mix, but
Steven Dubois this season, he's claimed nothing but gold and silver medals in the 500 meter. Interesting to look at here, looking at some of the past results. Well, maybe we'll wait for the officials' call. Are we going to the ice? Looks like we have a bit more time. So in Montreal, the Canadians swept the individual distances. They swept the individual distances again in Seoul. And this weekend, William Dancanu and Steven Dubois have also won the 1500 and 500. So they might be looking to sweep another set of individual distances on the World Tour.
Yeah, the second weekend in Montreal, that was the sweep. And then they swept the relay second weekend in Montreal too. You know, you can say the benefits of home ice, but they're winning everywhere. This is one of the, this is a season for the books for that side, really. So there is potentially a ruling, and we will throw it down to the ice.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 9-5 from Turkey and give advancement to skater number 3-8 from Netherlands.
There you go. So Kos does get to move on. It was early in the race, but it knocked him far back, and he had to scrap to get back into the picture of things.
Well, and that knocks out Natalini's chances of getting a time advancement.
A time that's a penalty. Kos moving on, 2 heats still to go, and so now 1 third place available. Clayton DeClemente's 1:23.421, and here's a look.
Launch the left arm of Atan on the exit here. There you have it. Kos just can't cross over.
And then he spent a good chunk of the race spending energy to close back up and wasn't able to get around. But he gets another chance in the semis. Heat number 3, Robert Kreuzbergs, Zhang Bohao, Miyata Shogo, Furkan Akar, and Shinky Connect, who came through the repechage today.
Go to the start. Right.
And Kreuzbergs, maybe the one to watch in this race.
Well, Miyata Shogo also, he's had a string of A finals. He's been knocking at the door of a podium for the last 2 World Tour stops. See if today's his day to break that. But Robert Kreuzberg's taking the lead now. He loves to skate from the front of the 1,000 meters. He's great at progressing the pace, and he's done that a few times over the course of the season. Looking to do so again right now.
He's one of the bigger skaters out there, tough to get around if the opportunity arises, but up the inside. It's a tight move, but then Miyata battles back.
Right back.
And the car hits the pads at full speed. That one obviously will be reviewed. The car took it, Miyata took it back, and that is just advantage Kreuzbergs now.
Well, that just gives him a little bit of space to work with, a little bit of breathing room. He's keeping that gap open. Shogo's got some work to do to close that down.
Connect and Zhang behind them. Gap is coming down a little bit, but there's 1 lap to go.
Looks like Shogo is not pushing for that lead position. He's going to have to defend second here. Zhang's looking. Shinky Connect up the inside.
And Zhang, that one he bumped back into Connect. That was after Miyata, I think, shut the door, and Zhang kind of dropped back, and that's when the collision happened with Connect. So a couple things to look at. The 2 yellow dots means 2 separate reviews. Officials on the ice, if you are new to the sport, they're in touch with the review room that has looked at all the angles. Here's the incident, shoulder to shoulder. Of course, in that sort of instance, is there a lane change?
Both skaters so tight in that entry. Another thing we don't quite get from this angle is seeing which skater is ahead at that moment.
And this was the other incident. Zhang tried to pass and it wasn't going to work, and then he bumped with Connect right there.
Well, Zhang was looking to go either around the outside or set up wide to hook tight, but Shinky took that opening on the inside. When Zhang came back in, Shinky was there.
Tried to make the pass. They do say it's a possible end of straight illegal late pass, but in the end, kind of penalizing himself by going down. So the review would, I believe, have been on Connect there. So I think the main, they're checking out both things.
Looking to see if a car had a lane change from out to in.
It also could have been both one of those shared responsibility situations, out to in and in to out at the same time. Usually when one goes one way, one goes the other way, and someone goes down, they say shared responsibility. You're both kind of the ones involved there.
One more quarterfinal to come.
So there's incident number one. Yep, one going in, one going out is maybe what they're looking at, but of course, push the program a little bit later. We do have the women's 1500 meter finals on deck after the next heat.
Yeah, see, I see what the opening that Shinky sees there, because Zhang has gone so wide, so he's thinking, hey, I'm going to take that opportunity, but Zhang is coming back in on the turn. I don't blame him for taking that opening.
This one's taking a little bit of time. This one might get the honor of being our longest review of the session, or of the weekend even.
Well, in these scenarios, the officials are trying to look at it from all angles, both perspectives of the skaters, trying to gauge also the intentions sometimes of what they're trying to do. Why are they making that move? And then they have to make the difficult decision.
And in the case of Zhang and Connect, both of them in advancement positions. So I think that would factor into anything, but the other thing they could be looking at is on Zhang is lane change from outside to in on the corner, because he mentioned how wide he got. And so sort of explanations we have here are there are two scenarios in each one here, each situation. So they are punching in results though, so it looks like all arguments have been settled. Everyone has come to an agreement on something. Here we go.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 6-8 from People's Republic of China, and give no penalty due to shared responsibility between skater number 4-6 from Japan and 4-9 Turkey.
There you go. So for that first incident, it is shared responsibility. See, I'm getting the hang of this.
You are.
One going out, one going in. They go shoulder to shoulder. So kind of neither side at fault and both sides at fault in a way. And then Zhang is penalized.
Well, we'll see the review. We'll just see how Shogo's going inside and the car's outside, and they both come in to meet each other in the straightaway. That's that shared responsibility. They're both kind of changing lanes to kind of create that contact.
Yeah, you see Miyata cross that red line to be signed as high.
And then you see how wide Zhang is here. Shinky just takes that lane, and then in the corner, Zhang comes back across and makes the contact with Shinky, putting him down.
All that to say, it's Krusbergs and Miata moving on. Another chance for Miata Shogo. And heat number 4 on the ice, Watanabe Keita. A big roar for that man, Jens van het Wout, Stan Desmet, Quentin Kerkhof, and Niall Tracy.
Go to the start. Red.
Certainly when you have a guy coming through the repechage like Niall Tracy, who has medaled on World Tour this season, it makes for a wide open race.
And these 1,000 meters can be so challenging on the skaters' legs and skaters' lungs. While it's a shorter distance than the 1,500 meter, they're starting it off with so much more speed. So it's a lot more time of building lactic acid within your muscles, so you really feel that burn. Those legs really get heavy by the finish, but you've gone a longer distance in the 500. The lungs are tearing apart on you. I remember seeing red at the end of some of these races when you go out with this type of speed.
Watanabe, veteran of the circuit, 32 years old, sitting on the back. Jens van het Wout monitoring from the front. But Desmet, Kerkhof, Tracy, Watanabe, all dangerous.
Well, again, Van het Wout, consistent all weekend long, a silver and a bronze medal already this weekend, and he's showing no signs of slowing down in the front of this race.
Already got to taste victory earlier today, anchoring the mixed relay side. And this one is flying by. This time around, there is that sound. It's the bell. Tracy sizing up a move, going wide. Kerkhof doing the same. Tracy going for third. Is he going to push for second, or is Kerkhof? It is Jens van het Wout on the front. But there are several celebrations for second, I think.
Well, what a finish there. Stan Desmet, you could just see his legs tightening up on him on the last lap. He didn't get a single crossover into the last corner. He lost all of his speed, and that allowed Niall Tracy and Kerkhof to challenge him at the finish line. We're going to need to see a photo there. There's so much to watch.
Tracy is celebrating. I don't think he could see Kerkhof, though, on the inside. They saw Desmet. That opened the door for Kerkhof to come up the inside, but we'll get another look at it right here. And there were some spills, and that will be reviewed as well.
You could just see that last half lap for Stan Desmet. That's the legs tying up that I was talking about earlier, just feeling so heavy. He just right here, he's just kind of losing it. He stumbles a bit. He can't get a crossover in, so he's carrying no speed. And there goes Kerkhof, and Tracy gets it.
I think it is Tracy, yeah.
Nice finish. He goes so wide, stays out wide. Kerkhof then says, okay, I'm going to go on the inside. Oh.
I love the celebration. There it is. Tracy and Desmet and Kerkhof.
Het lijkt erop dat de British Royal het fantastisch heeft gedaan. We gaan het even afwachten.
They're checking the finish just for a blade collision. Also looking for an earlier incident, Desmet and Watanabe, but it's cleared, and we have it official. Jens van het Wout, Niall Tracy moving into the semifinals. Another good shot of points for the British Royals program and Niall Tracy.
Well, another shot for him to go to an A final and try to get another medal.
And so that wraps up the men's 1,000-meter quarterfinals. Dan Koss getting advanced, and Clayton DeClemente, that time from heat number 1, called by my esteemed colleague behind me. Gets it right again.
Got to earn that paycheck, Gavin. Got to have some calls.
And now, time for some finals. B final, women's 1,500 meters. 3 Hungarian Falcons.
And just like that, the action continues.
Always fun to see yourself on the screen. And so for the B final, they do get introduced, and we'll throw it down to the ice for the introduction of 7 skaters.
Second starting position for helmet number 13-9, Japanese Ninja Nakashima Mirai. Third starting position for helmet number 41. It's the Hungarian Falcon, Rebecca. Fourth starting position, helmet number 86. Another Hungarian Falcon, champion Yara Petra. Op startpositie nummer 5, daar staat ze met helm nummer 12 op de eigen Leeuwin. The sixth starting position for helmet number 47, again an Hungarian Falcon, Shomoni Madagua. The seventh starting position for helmet number 49, French rooster, Chloe Olivier.
Go to the start. Ready.
The True Grit award for the day going to Chloe Olivier. Elbow just getting whammed in the semifinal. And here she is in the B final.
She's going to have to go home with a couple ice bags.
I would presume so. Hip, elbow.
Hopefully that's all for today.
And there's a flock of falcons. Hungarian falcons named after the Turul, which is a mythical bird for the Hungarian people, and the bird that actually inspired it. The Saker falcon, which is a good story of recovery of an animal on the brink, and so the Hungarian falcons allow me to share that good news. And the three of them in formation on the front, although I don't think falcons actually go in formation. They're not geese. It's Olivier now on the front. All for those points.
Here comes Michelle Belzebor.
And away she goes. We know one thing is soon to follow: speed.
Chapati responding to the lead. She's been skating terrifically. Did very well at the European Championships.
500-meter champ. And it is Nakashima. 21-year-old skater on the front right now. Claudia Gagnon getting up there into fourth.
Well, the pace is picking up. We've gone sub 10 seconds now.
Gagnon meandering her way through as Yashapati hits the front, and now everybody senses here comes the speed.
Yashapati's getting a really nice race thus far. She's going to want to be defending from first now. Slowly building that speed. See if she's dropping the lap times. We're down to 9.6s.
Michelle Belzebor up into fourth. Still Yashapati leading with speed. Gagnon right behind her. Down to 2.
See if Claudia Gagnon can try to set something up here, but Yashapati's really been building that pace, down to 9.4s.
Yashapati has been holding them off. What is left in the legs? She is still looking quite fresh. Petra Yashapati will just hang on for the B final, I believe. I mean, you see the rankings, it says Gagnon at first, but we've seen things like that flipped. I'm pretty confident in that one.
I think it's safe to say Yashapati took that one.
Voordat we aan de A-finale gaan beginnen, de eerste individuele A-finale van vandaag. En daar komt hij.
And confirmed. Yashapati wins. Gagnon second. Somodi in third. Hungarian Falcons first, third, and fifth in this one. Now, we've already got everything set up. An efficient operation here in Tilburg as you see the results. They've got the backdrop set up. Announcements are forthcoming, just waiting for the final skaters to get off. Chance to quickly look for the top 4 skaters in the current Crystal Globe standings are in this final. And then those who aren't, Elisa Confortola, the 2024 European champion, the great Ariana Fontana, Courtney Sareau returning to form, who was Crystal Globe contender last season. And so all that means is one thing. I really don't know how to say that. It's going to be a good show. And let's get down to the show for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the women's 1500 meter A final. On starting position number 1, it's helmet number 5 for American Eagle, Corinne Stoller. Second starting position for helmet number 105, representing the Italian Confederators, Yara Fontana. 11 Olympic medals. On third starting position, Yara starts at Tilburg, with the beginning the Crystal Globes of Leicester. Onze Nederlanders, Sander Velzenboer. Fourth starting position is helmet number 2 for American Eagle, Kristen Santos Griswold. Fifth starting position is helmet number 24, representing the Italian Gladiators, Elisa Confortola. On sixth starting position is helmet number 4, yesterday's winner of the 1,000 meters, number 1 on the 1,500 meter world ranking, Belgian Desmet, Desmet. And the seventh starting position is for helmet number 9, Canadian Eyes Rainbow, Courtney Sareau.
Looking at that start list, I will not hazard a prediction. I will just say this could be a titanic tilt, particularly in the ramifications of the Crystal Globe standings. This could be special.
Go to the start. Ready.
I'm just looking, the current European champion, Sandra Velzenboer, last year's European champion, Confortola, Corinne Stoddart, who has a win in the 1500 this year on the World Tour. And just all those Crystal Globe contenders, but Courtney Sareau, the first to say, do not forget about me.
Well, I think Courtney Sareau's strategy played off really well in the semifinal, knowing that Hannah Desmet has that strength and wants to go to the front. She's been skating really cleanly all weekend. She knows how strong she is, so she can make those passes on the outside. Kristen Santos Griswold, again, winning the 1500 meter and the 500 meter in Seoul, looking for a better performance today.
Santos Griswold, the wind would just tighten up those Crystal Globe standings all the more. Now it's Desmet. A danger anytime she's on the front, particularly this weekend. Now everybody getting the same idea.
Well, Desmet quickly going from first to fifth in the pack, now sixth as Sandra Velzenboer makes her move.
The laps count down.
Corey Stoddard's been so patient in the back.
Just saying, as the laps count down, that it's time for her to make the move.
Here it is.
Following Desmet.
Santos steps out wide. She's looking for a pass. Going the inside. Fontana continuing her speed out wide. Courtney Sorrow building the speed up.
It is Sorrow and Confortola.
Oh, Desmet
and Fontana together go down. It's just Fontana going down, pardon me. That one will be reviewed. It looks like it came out of nowhere with them going shoulder to shoulder.
Well, Sorrow's doing a great job accelerating the pace lap after lap here. We're getting towards the end. We got 3 laps to go. Here comes Desmet going outside. She's going to try to carry this all the way. Courtney Sorrow's got to respond. Watch for Sandra Velzenboer in fourth right now.
Now the chance to watch Desmet fly. She showed it yesterday in the 1,000. Her on the front is a dangerous thing right now. Hannah Desmet pulling away once again. Desmet does the double. And Sorrow up for second. Confortola against Thinkskett third. Once she hit the front, carbon copy of yesterday for Hannah Desmet. And what a result for Confortola, too.
The depth of the field in the women's racing right now is just incredible. They are so evenly matched, but it changes week to week. You think one world tour with Kristen Santos being so strong, the next one all of a sudden, Hannah Desmet stepped her level up.
Desmet, yeah, absolutely on fire right now. Once she's on the front, it's almost, at least in this weekend, it's shown when she hits the front, when the race is on the wire, she's going to come away with the win.
An incredible race from Confortola, too. She was defending that third position so hard. She had the likes of Kristen Santos Griswold and Corey Stoddard tracking her down the whole way.
Big fist pump for Courtney Sorrow, too. She was up with us in Montreal, dealing with concussion symptoms coming back. She made the return in Asia, but now that form really coming into show for the Canadian.
Well, Courtney Sorrow had some doubts at that time of kind of how she was feeling physically, where she was at, and I think that question's been answered today.
On that Canadian side, you see Mark Gagnon, the head coach, leading things. Big celebration. Concussions are an injury that are so unpredictable. There's no real time frame for it. She merits that celebration, but Desmet, ice cool on the side there. There is a review, however. There is the incident from earlier with Ariana Fontana. It happened at speed, and it could be Desmet.
Fontana was a bit on the outside in the corner. Hannah Desmet was getting a little bit of a transfer of speed from behind from Kristen Santos Griswold. That kind of pushed her up into Fontana, sending Fontana in the mats. You see again here, there's Desmet getting, she's coming on the outside, inside on Santos. So much happening right in this instant right here. There, a little bit of a push of Desmet's hip into Fontana's hip, and that puts Fontana down into the mats.
So she celebrated. What would this mean for Sorrow? But now we watch. The face gives away nothing. And here comes the pressure moment down to the ice.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 4 from Belgium.
And it is Desmet penalized. That means Sorrow, gold for the Canadian Ice Maples.
Wow. Well, congratulations to Courtney. What a result for her. Annalisa Confortola taking the silver medal now. Corey Stoddard with the bronze.
Another medal for Corin Stoddard. One of the most consistent skaters, just another medal for Stoddart. And we'll see the incident here. The arm push is the ruling right. Slight there, they say.
Well, yeah, that's
all it takes.
See
sometimes.
The movement, yep. I think Desmet was a little bit kind of trying to balance herself as she had a little bit of a touch on the inside of her from Kristen.
So Courtney Saroux, after all the struggles she'd been through, gets to savor a gold medal moment. And that will mean another shakeup in the Crystal Globe standings as well, with Corinne Stoddart closing in some more points on the skaters ahead of her. Down for the victory celebration.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the women's 1500 meter at the ISU Short Track World Tour Tilburg 2025, the Odido Cup. The medals will be presented by assistant referee, onze eigen Harold Jansen. In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing the American Eagles, Corinne Stoddart. Tilburg, Corinne Stoddart. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing the Italian Gladiators, Elisa Confortola.
Een beetje doorrijden.
Signore e signori, medaglia d'argento, Elisa Confortola. And in first place and winner of the gold medal, representing the Canadian Ice Maples, it's gold for Courtney Saroux.
Congratulations. Welcome back. Thank you.
It wasn't an easy season so far, but it is now for Courtney Saroux. Okay, Tilburg, our top three finishers in the women's 1500 meter. One more time, Corinne Stoddart, Elisa Confortola, and Courtney Saroux.
Long road back for Courtney Saroux. Certainly the emotions flowing there.
Well, you just see how much work goes into these events or these seasons for these skaters and the adversity that they have to overcome, like Saroux has this year. As you mentioned, Gavin, not too long ago she was up here commentating with us in Montreal for a little bit.
God forbid.
Went from commentating to World Tour gold.
I'd like to think we had a hand in that.
Maybe we got to lace up.
Or just the motivation. I don't want to talk to those guys ever again.
Well, congratulations to all three skaters.
Confortola getting up there, and Stoddart again on the podium, finding a way. Here's the dash to the line, the dash for gold. Santos Griswold is right there too. What was initially A big silver celebration, flip to gold. What does that look say? I'll take it.
Well, then the emotion hits.
Unfortunate for Desmet on the penalty. That is part of the life in this sport, and she still has, I believe, the 500 meters. Yeah, she does, so another chance to really tighten up the Crystal Globe standings. There you go. It's Velzeboer by 40 points. Santos Griswold, Korn Stoddart now 48 points down. 8 points separate the two Americans, and Desmet, another win would just tighten things up further, and so this isn't going to end today. So tune in next week as well when we're in Milan for the thrilling conclusion. But still more to come. The lights are down, so the ice resurfacing is on. Men's 1,000-meter semifinals on the other side of the break. Now, the 1,500 meters is a race that often starts slowly, but ends with a bang. Let's hear from some of the skaters about what makes this race special.
So 1,500 meter, it's 13 and a half laps, and I think it's the most strategic race.
The 1,500, unlike the 500 and 1,000, you know, we start a bit slower occasionally.
1,500m를 제일 좋아합니다. 1,500m는 장거리이기 때문에 체력 완배를 하는 게 제일 중요하다고 생각하고.
I like in the 15 that you kind of have multiple opportunities to get through the front. You have time, you can like see where everybody is, and that's what's fun about it. You have to pick your moment when you make speed and go to the front, and then you have to just keep going. That's what I like.
As you get to the further distances, the start becomes less important, and it becomes more towards the end of the race, what the tactic is and who's got the freshest legs. So you'll see some very tired people at the end of 1,500 meters.
In the 1,500, I guess, it's more stamina based. You run the risk of, if you go out fast, can you maintain until the end? Or if you don't go out too fast, will you be able to speed up at the end? So that's the biggest risk, I guess.
The key to win the 1,500 is to conserve your energy, kind of, or maybe just if you're really strong, then just go.
그 체력을 잘 완배해서 마지막에 힘을 쏟아내는 게 중요하다고 생각합니다.
You kind of have to read the person, like are they getting tired or not? Are they making speed or are they kind of holding back? If you see them holding back, that's like a moment you could easily overtake. You have to read it. It's a small signs in people.
And 1,500 meter is like just lungs, being able to keep going, and once your legs are completely blown up, full with lactic acid, that you can just keep crossing over. So it's sprinters are like boom, boom. 1,000 meter you have to stay steady, and 1,500 meter you just have to keep on going.
Now, Tyler, the 1,500 is certainly a different event. You look at the 500 and it's all gas all the way. The 1,500 can start incredibly slowly but ends with a flourish.
Yeah, the 1,500 to me is the most exciting event because there's the most variance in strategy. You never know what's going to unfold in that race. You have some people are going to take it from the front early. They're going to want to push the pace. They're going to want to fatigue the sprinters, and that's going to be their tactic. However, you look at some other skaters where they're going to sit back, conserve energy, wait to make that last minute pass. And you got 8 skaters in that race. So just the most action happening every single time you're on the ice. And again, so unpredictable. You know what's really going to happen in the 500. It's going to go out quick. You know, it's going to be fast. But in the 1,500, we don't know how it's going to play out every single time, and to me, that makes it the most exciting.
The mystery of the 1,500, if you were. Now, over the course of this season, we've heard from the ISU's Natalie Lambert, a short track great in her own right. She's explained some of the rules that you see out there on the ice. Now, we've had a chance to sit down with her for one more segment.
So a false start can be done in a few different ways. It can be with the blade crossing the line, which is hard to show. It can be the skater, of course, moves before everybody else, before the gun. It can also be going down too slow. Everybody's already ready and you're taking your time, and then there is a delay that the starter will wait. But if it gets near the point where you're going to create someone else to jump, you can get a false start for that. There's zero tolerance, so the first time there is a false start, whether it's crossing the line, whether it's going down too slow, or it's jumping the gun, basically will be a penalty right away.
Ready.
There is a false start.
Skater, position 3, cross the line. False
There
start.
it is, Kim Gilly. It is actually the new rule. It's one chance and it's done.
Every penalty that can happen in an individual race can also happen in a relay. On top of that, they are specific to relay infringement. One would be failing to relay, like if there's no touch at one point during the race. The second one is the same skater needs to skate the last 2 laps unless there is a fall. So the last relay needs to be done before the line for the last 2 laps. Another one is relaying on schedule, like for the mixed team relay, for example, the proper gender needs to skate the proper layer for safety. So, if a man would be racing the women's layer, for example, that can lead to a penalty. There's also spreading the leg way too far, blocking and creating falls that can lead to a penalty. When skaters are pushing teammates, they need to push in a straight direction. If they push completely sideways and block, that can also be a penalty. Things can also happen in the infield, and you can have an extra skater on the ice blocking, like a third skater, sometimes close to where we are doing the exchange. That can also lead to a penalty. For our purposes, we have divided what we call the infringement in 4 different categories. So you will have the straight infringement, the corner infringement, the start infringement, and the finish. Most of them are the same. Whether it's an arm block at the start, in the corner, in the straight, or at the finish, it's the same. But at the finish, there is actually an extra code, which is kicking out. And kicking out is basically, every now and then you will see those finish where the skaters will propulse themselves at the finish line out of control with lifting both blades to try to pass a skater. If it's out of control, if it creates a fall, if the blades are not on the ice, then it can lead to a penalty for kicking out. The blade, whichever part of the blade that crosses the line first, is what stops the clock, basically, for short track.
Now, Tyler, we get the rules explained, but as we've learned over the course of the season, it's never always black and white. There's a whole lot of gray, as is evidenced by plenty of discussions, plenty of reviews in a lot of the races.
Certainly. Short track can be a difficult sport to referee. That's why I'd much prefer to stand here and hold the microphone than be standing there on the ice making those calls. But, there's a lot you have to unpack when you're refereeing. You got to watch all the skaters on the ice. What's the intent of their actions? Sometimes skaters are intentionally looking to get an advancement, and they may be selling a call to try to get, their chances better to make an A final. So there's a lot to look at as a referee and an official on the ice, and it's a difficult task to do.
And I'm sure still a few more reviews to come, as we still have some medal races. Stay with us.
maken dat tot nog een mooier festijn. Dankjewel. Of zal Brabant zeggen, dat je bedankt zijn de witte. Zo, dan gaan we langzaam de lampen weer aan. We gaan de disco-lichten weer wat meer dimmen. En dat wil zeggen dat wij doorgaan naar het volgende onderdeel. De jury staat op het ijs met een grote glimlach. Dat is altijd mooi. En dat wil zeggen dat wij toch meer dat ijs in gaan blijven ook, Jan. Tot dat aan bak toe wat mij betreft. In ieder geval met de informatie. Wat gaan we doen?
Absoluut. We gaan naar de mannen 1000 meter halve finales. Next event is the men's 1000 meters semifinals. The first and second place skater from each race and up to a maximum of one.
The door opens up for the skaters once again to take the Icemen's 1000 meter semifinals. 2 heats, both with 5 skaters. Top 2 and a maximum of 1 fastest third place skaters go to the A final. And in heat number 1, they've decided to cram all the Ice Maples together. William Dongenou, Felix Roussel, and Steven Dubois. So there is a possibility that all 3 could be in the final, just like yesterday in the 500 meters where there was a trio of Canadians.
Als je in de kansrijke positie rijdt en wordt eruit gereden door
Yesterday, of course, it was Jordan Pierre-Gilles. Picked up for second place. There is Felix Roussel. Of course, out to spoil that would be Clayton DeClemente of the USA Eagles and Niall Tracy, who himself has been on the podium on the World Tour this season and is skating quite well this weekend.
Well, Gavin, I suspect we're going to see these 3 Ice Maples all at the front, but Niall Tracy is going to be doing his best to disrupt that early on in the race. As we know, he's not afraid to lead. But to your point, there is the possibility all 3 Ice Maples could go through if they're in the top 3 and the time's fast enough. There is no advancement.
Of course, if there is no advancement.
So on account of that, I do suspect it'd be a little bit quicker of a race, and we'll likely see the 3 of them pushing the pace up front.
Yesterday, Dongenou in the 500-meter final was not in position 1. He is there today, so even though it is 1,000, it's he's much more accustomed to right there on the inside.
Go to the start. Red.
Dongenou has 1,000-meter victories this season. Roussel has a 1,000-meter victory this season. It is the 2 Canadians out front first. Dubois, I'm sure, would like to join them, and up the inside he goes to 3rd.
Dongenou taking the lead back. This looks very similar to what we saw in the previous round, with a lot of lead change between the Ice Maples, but by the frequency of the changes that I'm seeing, none of this is orchestrated. They all want to get through individually to claim their World Tour medals today.
Certainly you want everyone to skate their own race for the team, but at the same time, don't let that get in the way of each other. Don't take each other out, is I guess what I'm saying.
When these skaters are racing together, all so familiar with each other's track patterns, they've trained together day in, day out, working together to improve, so they're very familiar with each other.
Tracy in the unfamiliar place of being on the back, and he's starting to look, but Roussel moves up into 2nd. Dongenou still in front. Where is the opening going to come from someone who's not a Canadian?
Well, it's difficult to pick your way through those 3 right now. 3 Ice Maples leading this one with a half lap to go.
Dongenou, Roussel, and Dubois, and DeClemente never gave up, but just short. And so potentially seeing all 3 Canadians going on, depending what happens into the next semifinal.
We saw a lot of passing there between those Ice Maples, looking for the front of that race, but they also race very respectful with each other, because at the end of the day, they're teammates, and they are very close teammates at that.
Just too fast, really, for the others to make any sort of move. Close for DeClemente, though. And so Dubois' time 126.042. We shall see how that stands up with heat number 2. Pietro Siegel, Roberts Kreuzbergs, Dan Koss, Miata Shogo, and probably the man to watch, Jens van het Wout.
Jens van het Wout with 2 podiums already this weekend. Closed some ground on William Danjanu, who took a yellow card yesterday in the 500, so that eliminated the points that he would have earned. And that closed the gap, so it's still possible for Jens van het Wout to catch William Danjanu in the Crystal Globe standings, but he is the only one who has the ability to do it, but he has to be near flawless throughout the rest of this World Tour.
Van het Wout, the only non-ice maple to have won 1,000 meters on World Tour this year. The rest have gone to Danjanu and Felix Roussel. There is Dan Koss. And the 2 Dutch Lions would love to make it a battle of orange v red and black.
Steven Dubois is going to be holding his breath a little bit because there's a lot of skaters in this race that like to push the speed from the front. And Roberts Kreuzbergs is one of those skaters.
Position 5, take your dot. Go to the start. Ready.
And it's Siegel going out first. Koss trying to get up to the front with Kreuzberg settling into 3rd.
Pietro Siegel setting it up here, taking the inside. See if Roberts Kreuzbergs wants to make a break for the lead.
Crystal Globe standings. Watch the man in orange with the black helmet. Jens van het Wout sitting in 3rd right now. Dan Koss, light on the fireworks so far. Well, of course, we expect that to change with Miata going into 4th.
This isn't a slow race by any means, but I don't think it's quite on the pace of the previous one. So Dubois holding his breath right now. I think his time could stand if there's no advancements here. So far, it's been clean, but we know how much can shake out with only 2 laps to go.
Now Van het Wout goes up the inside. Could it be a Dutch 1-2 in the final? Miata making a late move. Kreuzberg's making a late move. Everyone trying to vie for what is potentially 2 positions. Van het Wout through at the line and gets 2nd. It's a reach. I think it may have been Koss, but Miata and Kreuzberg's both made it close.
And the time is there. This race was faster.
So it could be 2 of those 3 guys going for the line. And we cannot wait to see the photo. I'm not picking anybody other than I thought Koss's might have been up there for it.
Well, Koss, there was that inside pass by Jens van het Wout on that last turn. Koss did not get a good exit of that corner as a result of that pass, so that gave the opportunity for Shogo to kind of push up. So we'll get another look. There's that pass. Koss not getting any crossovers in through that turn. Shogo, Kreuzberg's. I need a photo finish here.
There it is. What? Let's see, 2 to Dan Koss, 3 to Miata Shogo, and then Kreuzberg's, the unfortunate one. Wow.
My goodness, what a race.
So it will be 2 Lions, a Ninja going up against 3 Ice Maples.
2 Ice Maples.
It is 2, right? That was faster, pardon me.
Faster, yeah.
So Miata is through 2 Dutch against 2 Canadians.
And Miata back in another A final.
Is this the time for him to do it? Fortunately, we don't have to wait that long.
No.
The result, that would be 0.03 of a second separate Dan Koss and Miata Shogo, and then a further 0.09 of a second to the unfortunate Roberts Kreuzbergs. So there's your A final coming up in just a little bit. Van het Wout, Koss, Danjanu, Roussel, and Miata. Kreuzberg's, Siegel, Dubois, De Clemente, and Tracy in the B final. Now we're switching up. Women's 500-meter quarterfinals already on the ice. Four heats. Heat number one, Florence Brunel, Ariana Siegel, Song Jiaori, Kurokawa Ki, and Kamila Stormovska. First two automatically go to the semis, and maximum two fastest third place skaters is Brunel.
Go to the start. Ready.
Brunel winning the race to the corner. Siegel goes down. Was it blown back? Did I hear a whistle? There was.
Yes, it was.
Sometimes when it's a skater on their own, they don't. But now Siegel, the look of someone who fell into a river and didn't want to do that. She's got the, I'm wet.
Well, you know, the newer short track suits now have this, it's not quite the Lycra we used to wear, which would really absorb all the water. They're a bit of this kind of swift suit material, we call it, and it does not absorb the water as much, so you can really see it on the material, but at least it's not quite as damp as having just soaked into your Lycra suit.
Just dripping off instead. Look at the work that goes in to make sure the blades are okay. Just the tightening of the bolts, it seems.
I don't know if you caught a glimpse of her skin suit around the lower leg. It's made up of multiple different materials that it's all intentionally put in place for the aerodynamics of the suit. The legs, as you're skating quickly, as you're recovering the leg, you're kicking it through, so your leg's actually moving at a higher speed than your body is because of that movement pattern. So all that is calculated into the material of the skin suit.
How much research goes into that? How much money goes
a lot of money
into the wind tunnel?
Go to the start. Ready.
Pretty similar to last time with Brunel and Song going 1 and 2.
Number 3 of the 500-meter World Tour ranking.
Song has been having a very strong weekend herself. We've been saying her name over and over again, really showing that she can keep up with the best in the world.
Nice move by Siegel to tuck in up the inside. Now Stormovska trying to follow. Not the time for her, though, and that costed her some speed. 1 to go. It's Brunel off the front. Siegel, a little bit of a wobble coming out of the turn there. Cost her some speed. She's going to try to hang on. And does, I believe. And Florence Brunel, the winner. They will be a review.
42.98 for Brunel. Unofficial time right now. That's a quick 500 meter.
So the review is Song Jiaori in the straight line, possibly going from outside to in on Kamila Stormovska. So that's what's being reviewed.
Yeah, when Song felt the likes of Stormovska looking for a pass, she really moved across in the straightaway. It's not on this replay yet.
See the next time around.
Right here, Song outside, really shifts across. You can see right there. She was kind of tucked in behind Siegel, you could see, and then boom, right along the inside.
So that's what's being looked at. No decision made just yet. 4 heats. We zip through these 500 meters, and then we'll get back to the thrilling conclusion of the men's 1,000. We are over at the second screen, about to punch in the results. So if there is a penalty, it might not lead to an advancement, of course, because Stormovska was not in those top 2 positions. But here we go.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 6-3 from People's Republic of China.
There you have it. So Song is penalized. Stormovska finishes officially in 3rd. So she's on the clock now with a 43.418.
We zien de staande official results.
There you go.
Florence Brunel, première position, gaat door naar de volgende ronde, de halve finales. Also qualified for the semifinals, Ariana Siegel. The third time of Kamila Stormovska is 43.418.
So there's Song outside Siegel in that quick move over.
Pole position for the world champion, Kim Boutin. And op positie nummer
Heat number 2. On the ice, it has the world champion in position 1, Kim Boutin. Dane Blais. Petra Yashapati, the current European champion, Ariana Fontana, and Zoe Deltrap. And of course, always with Boutin a 500. See if she explodes off the line as she so often does.
Go to the start. Ready.
And indeed she does, and Fontana jumps up to third. The Ice Maples 1 and 2.
The world champion of Ahoy Rotterdam. Samen met Dani nog zo'n giganten.
Blistering starts so often. Boutin wins races within the opening corner.
Absolutely, she did that last year, winning the 500 meter in Rotterdam at the World Championships.
Chapati taking a look on Fontana. That sets off a chain of events. Fontana went into Brunel, or Danae Blais, and Blais is hurt. He's down on the ice. It is Deltrap getting up to second. I think they're bringing this one back. They blew it dead before Boutin crossed the line, and Danae Blais is down in a considerable amount of pain.
Well, as you called it, Gavin, Yashapati making for a move, running into Fontana. Fontana hitting Danae Blais that sent her into the mats. One of the things you look at is there's 7 tracks on the ice. They are on the most extreme track towards those boards. So what happens is if you fall in that corner where the track is as close to the board as it can possibly be, you have no time to decelerate before you hit those mats. So you hit with a lot more force. We'll get a look here. There it is. And Danae Blais, by the time she falls, she's already about 4 feet away from the boards.
Just a domino there. There's the bump.
Yeah, Danae Blais caught her foot on Fontana there on the entry.
And that got the fans cheering anyway, Deltrap, but that was about the time they whistled it dead, and Blais is up on her feet. You love to see it. She was down. She was feeling it, and they hopped right over the board to get to her, but
Fontana checking to make sure she's okay. They've done a lot of skating and training together, those two, as Fontana's training in Montreal for short track.
There is a review underway for a possible lane change from Fontana going from outside to in.
It does look like they're calling the race as complete, however, as all the athletes appear to be getting their guards on.
Yeah, they are.
Well, Deltrap's staying on the ice as well as Kim Boutin right now.
Because they blew the whistle before Boutin crossed the line. It heard it pretty clearly, so there is some confusion going on right now.
Fontana doesn't realize that the race was called. She's coming back on the ice and taking her guards off.
There you go.
Danae Blais, the race was called for her, so she's leaving the ice. Also, obviously, she was a bit shook up from that. So this is tough because they really they blew the race as the skaters are coming right out of the last corner. So they completed the race. And now they have, well, Fontana's now leaving the ice again. I'm not sure if she's being charged with a disqualification on the incident.
That is what was being looked at, a possible lane change from outside to in, but we haven't gotten an update just yet. They are still reviewing so far as I know.
So what we're left with right now is Boutin, Deltrap, and Yashapati.
So Yashapati was making the move, and I think she sort of, it's almost like she slipped backwards to kind of set that chain in motion, but of course what led to her slipping back like that?
Zo is alles eigenlijk nog goed geregeld, eigenlijk niet ook. Maar wat is er aan de hand? Het was eigenlijk net als een valpartij waarbij
So Fontana taking her skates off. That might speak volumes in and of itself. So now there was a race for time for a possible third place. I would imagine it likely would not come from this one. Now they have to do almost a second full 500.
Well, the skaters are used to quick intervals like this in training. They've got to put it to use right now.
Who can ride the burn the best here, it seems?
Go to the start. Ready.
All right, take 3.
You can see this is a slower start here. Kim Boutin just being a little bit more controlled, managing her energy, being just defensive here with her track, not attacking it like she did the previous one. She's trying to build, but that leaves Yashapati the opportunity to go on the outside.
Not sure if there's what's going on with Boutin's boots, what have you, but she is letting that gap open up quite a bit. She keeps looking down at her feet.
Yeah. Well, here comes Yashapati with just a tremendous lead.
So Yashapati is going to take the bell, and Boutin not too happy, I don't think. She had that first race won, but the second time, just not feeling it. Yashapati will take it. Deltrap will get second.
Well, Kim Boutin is really a great sprinter. You know, she's not really planning for those quick back-to-back efforts for herself. I don't know if it's a little bit more the legs. We saw her getting the blades worked on by the coaches, trying to buy some time for her too to rest up. But for her, I see the frustration that she had finished the race and it was called right as she's crossing the line. So these things happen.
Yashapati sensed the opportunity was there and took full advantage, winning this quarterfinal.
See Kim Boutin with the hand on the leg. It's usually a sign that you're feeling it a little bit.
Be prepared for the unexpected, zei bondscoach Jeroen Otter natuurlijk. Ja, daar heeft hij maar hartstikke gelijk in.
Well, it's frustrating as an athlete sometimes. The calls don't go your way. You feel a little bit robbed sometimes, and that's what we say the old short track, you know.
That's short track?
That's short track.
Heat number 3 still not out on the ice just yet. Now they are coming out. It has Michelle Velzeboer, Hannah Desmet out for redemption. Down to the ice though.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 105 from Italy and give advancement to skater number 10 from Canada.
So there you go. Fontana penalized. Blay gets advanced. Whether she takes the start line will be the next question. She's looking okay there, though, just shaking up. I mean, I sort of imagine a certain level of shock at having just knocking down, then immediately going at full speed into the pads. We'll see. She's up on her feet, walking off. Glad to see. We will see if she comes back for the next round. But Yashapati wins it. Deltrap second. Heat number 3. Oh, we're going to look at the earlier incident. So it is lane change outside to in.
Yashapati making contact with Fontana. That transitions into Danae Blay.
All right, Michelle Velzeboer, Hannah Desmet, Gabriela Topolska, Valentina Askic, and Aurélie Levesque. That coming through this morning pretty nicely in the repechage session.
Go to the start. Ready.
Oh boy. It was a stumble by Michelle Velzeboer. And when she went down, she's on the inside. So as other skaters are trying to round the corner, she's right there. And so Askic and Levesque went down.
Well, there's a hard clash of the skates between Desmet and Michelle Velzeboer, so they both quickly got up, went right over to their coaches. They're going to get a pit stop. I can see Kip Carpenter out with the power drill. He's going to rip the bolts off that mounting block. That mounting block is how you fasten the blade to the boot. You pop those off, you put in a new blade, and then you're off to the races.
There's a click, and then oof, ever more daring, trying to jump over. I think Levesque tried to. Let's see. There's the click of the skates right there. She got whomped in the head as Desmet went by too, and then Levesque jumping over.
Here's Hannah Desmet getting a new blade as well. I was probably just not very adaptive or quick at adjusting with new blades, but it's always a transition because no two blades ever quite feel the same. So
Catherine Reuter-Adamek did share me a story where your replacement blades were once your favorite blades.
That's right. I wish I could have used that mindset. I always struggled with it. Kind of something that would linger in the back of my mind.
Did you have that too, where your second blades were the ones that you used to race on?
Well, of course, yeah. They're you wouldn't get brand new blades all the time, so you put your old racing blades in your bag and keep those on. Keep those on you, but this is still a little bit newer. The opportunity for athletes to make these blade adjustments, that hasn't been a part of short track forever. It's a bit newer of a feature where athletes are allowed this opportunity to make sure their equipment is clean. And you know what? It's for the safety of the athletes, because if they've stripped an edge or something, or if they've lost a chip of their blade, this is almost a safety reason in my mind.
Levesque had an Italian jacket around her shoulders to stay warm. The French side has done some training up in Bormio in Italy.
Go to the start. Ready.
And everybody is now through, and it's when the dust settles. Michelle Velzeboer, Hannah Desmet, and Valentina Askic 1, 2, and 3. Desmet sizing up a move, perhaps.
Yeah, Desmet's being patient right now. She may be waiting a little bit longer in the race. You get one good opportunity to strike, but again, there's two of them together safely, so maybe taking no risk today, making sure she continues on to the semifinals.
The bell, Michelle Velzeboer in front, but Desmet perhaps diving up the inside. She will, but Michelle Velzeboer will take it. Askic gets third. We'll see that time with approximately a 43.72. That is slower than heat number one. But it is a maximum of the two fastest third place times. But of course, with Desmet advanced, that would knock out one of them.
Just seeing the face shield of Michelle Velzeboer, you know, that probably paid off for her on that fall in that first corner, because we did see her kind of get a little bit clipped in the head there, and that face shield would help protect you.
There is the photo. Velzeboer taking that one over Desmet. Yeah, the third place time not enough for Askic to jump over Kamila Stormovska. One heat to go. That one third place time is 43.418. There are the results. One more heat still to come, and it is the two top USA Eagles, Stoddart Santos Griswold. There's also Natalia Malashevska, Chiara Betti, the Italian Gladiators, and Annabelle Green. Two very good races in repechage this morning, but this is a different beast altogether.
Go to the start. Ready.
Real crystal globe battle involving the two USA Eagles in this one race alone. It's Stoddart in front of Santos Griswold.
Well, Santos Griswold has 808 points right now. Corey Stoddart has 800. Zandra Velzeboer not competing in this 500 meters, so it is an opportunity for both these skaters potentially leapfrog over Zandra Velzeboer if they continue on into the A final today.
Santos Griswold takes the lead. Now Stoddart under pressure from Malashevska. At the bell, it is still Santos Griswold, Corin Stoddart, Malashevska with some work to do, not going to do it. It will be USA 1 and 2. About as drama-free a race as you could get for those two. Just get to the front.
Nice clean skate. It's not much to analyze when it's so clean.
Yeah, just Stoddart got off to the lead, and then Santos Griswold took over and took her turn on the front, guiding the front two to the line. But excellent as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent analysis. It took a keen mind to say, not a lot of analysis needed there.
That race didn't need me.
So Malashevska with a 43.409. That is enough to move her into the semifinals as the fastest third place skater.
And it's official. It was Kristen Santos, Griswold, Corinne Storrent moving on. And also good news for the Polish Hussars. Natalia
Malashevska, there we see it, the little cue. She gets to go to the semis. That wraps up the women's 500 meters, at least for now. You can see the qualifiers who's going to the semis. And we are a little bit behind schedule. We've had some delays, we've had some reviews, but it is finals time for the men's 1,000 meters. We're starting with the B final. Miata Shogo. Wait.
Naast iedereen Guus IJsbaan. De legendarische Polen is de meest succesvolle Olympische atleet aller tijden. Hier uit Goorlen, hier uit Tilburg. Maar we gaan de B-finale rijden. De 1000 meter B-finale voor plek nummer 6.
And in the B final, there is actually Miata Shogo. Initially, the photo, I thought we had him just ahead of Kruisbergs, but in the end, it is Kruisbergs finishing third. And so we'll see Roberts Kruisbergs in the A final. The B final has Miata Shogo, Pietro Siegel, Stephen Dubois, Clayton DiClemente, and Niall Tracy down to the ice for the introductions.
He must have revisited the photo finish.
Second starting position for helmet number 11, the Italian gladiator Pietro Siegel.
And you don't see that too often.
We have the storyline all set up.
Yeah, so just recapping that, initially Miata Shogo had beaten out Kruisbergs at the finish. We expected to see him in the A final. However, they must have revisited the photo finish from what we saw previously, and now Kruisbergs is in the A final.
Representing the American Eagles is Clayton DiClemente. And the fifth starting position for helmet number 27 is British Royal, Niall Tracy.
There is still a potentially good storyline there. A man outnumbered as his opponents in the A final outnumber him 2-1. Anyway, B final time though here now.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Tracy now does seize the opportunity to get to his favorite place in a 1,000-meter race, straight to the front.
Dubois from 5th. Quick speed on the outside.
So confident on those blades. He decides to pick it up.
Siegel now. I think we're going to see a few of these moves happening, but the pace is going to be picking up quite quickly here. We're already down to 9.5. Siegel's trying to tuck in, but now there he is. He finally gets in ahead of Niall Tracy, in behind Stephen Dubois.
And for once Dubois is at top speed, there aren't many people who can get past him. Dubois came in just a little bit of putting all three of the Canadians in the A final.
Dubois picking the pace up now. See him working those exits a little bit more, dropping that right arm, building some speed up, 2 crossovers in. We're going to see this lap time drop, go to sub-8 here, I imagine.
Coming up to get the bell, still Dubois. Miata trying to come up from the back to Clemente, also looking, but Dubois is just too fast, it seems, unless Siegel has something else in mind, but nope, it is Dubois. Great late surge by Clayton DiClemente. I don't think he passed Tracy, but he certainly made it close.
Fist pump from Stephen Dubois off to the line. As we talked about, these points all add up, not only for yourself, but for your team.
So nothing getting reviewed there. Take a look at a picture at the line to see who might have gotten up for third.
If you're paying close attention, you can see Stephen Dubois is wearing two different boots. Left boot is a Marchese, his right boot is a Laurent Dagnon.
Two different brands.
Two different brands, not even two different boots from the same brand, but you find yourself finding boots that you prefer over others, whether it's just the pitch, the angle, all those little factors just make you a little bit more comfortable, and you've raced on one boot for a long time, it's difficult to switch.
It is Niall Tracy. Hangs on just enough. Dubois, Siegel, Tracy, 1, 2, and 3 in the B final as they make their way off. We await the lights. And then we'll have the introduction for the A final. Two Dutch Lions, those two Canadian Ice Maples, and the Latvian Golden Star. Just about ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the men's 1,000-meter A final. First starting position for helmet number 13, representing the Dutch Lions, that is Tilburg. Yes, second starting position is for helmet number 13-8, also representing the Dutch Lions, on third starting position is helmet number 19, representing the Latvian Golden Stars, number 3 of the world ranking, on fourth starting position is helmet number 3 for the reigning 1,000-meter world champion, Canadian Ice Maple, Crystal World's number 1, now start position number 5. It's the number 8 World Tour classification, Canadian Ice Maple, Felix
All three men who have the World Tour victories in this distance on the ice. Two skaters from the Netherlands, two from Canada. And not to be missed, the lone Golden Star, Robert Kroesbergs.
Go to the start. Right.
Now who gets to the front first? Who gets to defend? It is Koss, Van 't Wout, but Dangenu wanting to also get up there, and that creates some early congestion. Everybody's wanting it.
Everybody wants to be at that lead. Don Koss is really holding on. Felix Roussel loses an edge. He goes down.
Roussel down on his own. Don't think there was touch. It went just as the music started in here, so it was a bit unreal. I have to wonder what that might have played. Anyway, it is Koss, Van 't Wout, and Kroesbergs for the moment. The race for the Crystal Globe really very much alive. Dangenu also stumbles a bit.
Jens Van 't Wout taking a nice inside pass the lead. Don Koss was really defending that lead early in this race.
And there will be a review of that earlier incident.
Kroesberg's looking up the inside. There's an opportunity opening up.
The
Danjanu outside to inside. He
and
goes
Danjanu into Krusbergs, into Koss. It is wide open.
Well, we have a lot of this race down on the ice.
For Jens van het Wout, they are not bringing this one back. If he keeps the blades down, there is the bell. It could be a victory lap, a moment to savor for Jens van het Wout. There is still race to go. Danjanu, I don't think, kept going. Krusbergs is over the line second. Koss wondering where he is. No, Krusbergs is still going. I'm sure they're wondering, where on the lap am I? Krusbergs trying to get over for second and Koss for third. But now we wait to see. It was chaos personified.
Lots to unpack there.
So yeah, the first ruling, the first yellow dot, I believe, has been cleared. That was the incident with Hussel where he goes down on his own. And they're saying it's a possible illegal late pass on Danjanu. But Van het Wout stayed away. So I don't think he was involved in any of this, so he got to enjoy a victory lap.
Here's Felix Roussel looking on the outside. Dan Koss shifting over to defend. Roussel losing his footing, going down. Marc Gagnon not happy about it. Danjanu going in. Three skaters so tight together, all going down. For a moment, I was kind of anticipating we might get a whistle blown with, 4 out of the 5 skaters having crashed out of this race. Luckily, Danjanu did not get a blade to the face there, and Jens van het Wout just getting the win.
A chance to take the victory lap there for Jens van het Wout. And they are still confirming everything.
Ik dacht, hij kon echt niet meer. 5 gaan, ga ik dood. En dan is het alleen dood. Ik ga gewoon. Daardoor moest hij dat doen.
En nu zijn we benieuwd naar die officiële uitslag. En misschien hebben we dan wel 2 Nederlanders op het podium. Hebben we 2 Nederlandse medailles. Het enige waar ik me dan zorgen over maak zijn al die landen die hier gaan keihard.
Looking up at the screen. That might speak volumes as the podium may be set now. And well, he keeps that Crystal Globe chance alive, does Jens van het Wout.
Yara on her way to the infield. Let's listen to her announcement.
After review, we give yellow card for behavior for skater number 3 from Canada.
It's a yellow card for Danjanu, but the podium remains the same. Jens van het Wout, Robert Krusbergs, and Dan Koss. So there is yellow card for William Danjanu. That is his second of the weekend.
That's his second of the weekend. So a few factors that, again, he gets 0 points from an A final. And then with 2 yellow cards this weekend for dangerous skating, that might be the last we see of William Danjanu today. I don't think he'll be allowed to race the rest of the competition.
That would affect the relay. But down for the victory ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the men's 1,000 meter at the ISU Short Track World Tour Tilburg 2025 Odino Cup. The medals will be presented by our tournament director, 2-time Olympian and 4-time national champion, Cees Juffermans. In third place, the winner of the bronze medal, representing the Dutch Lions. Hier is die Tilburg. Hier is Dan Koss. Ja, die gaat een feestje vieren hier in Kruikenstad. Dankos brons. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing the Latvian Golden Stars, Robert Kruzberg. And in first place, winner of the gold medal, representing the Dutch Lions, Tilburg, here is Jens van het Veld. Shinen met speciaal en zijn 12e gouden World Tour medaille. Goud voor Jens van het Woud. En laten we ons nog even bij elkaar zetten, Tilburg. En laat nou die lampen maar eens even trillen. Ik wil het horen voor Daan Kos, Robert Kruzberg en Jens van het Woud.
Continues here in Tilburg. 2 more Dutch medals.
Well, Jens van het Woud has closed the gap. The 2 yellow card disqualifications to William Danjanu this week and have completely disrupted his points tallying. Jens van het Woud moves up to 830 points with Danjanu with 1,012. So a point gap of 182, which is still a big margin, but still now possible with 3 tour events remaining when we go to Milan next week.
The coronation delayed for at least a while. The home fans are certainly pleased with a 2-medal performance. Robert Kruzberg's being in there for silver, and we carry on. The women's 500-meter semifinals. This will lead us into our next break. Good little chat there from Danjanu to van het Woud. They know each other. So I believe there was an exchange earlier made where William Danjanu brought maple syrup from Canada, and Jens van het Woud traded with him some stroopwafels. Might be a little more frosty after that, but they still great competitors, great rivals, and obviously, of course, getting along as well. 500 meters, there is the updated Crystal Globe standings that Tyler just mentioned. Closing up a little bit more. And 500-meter women's semifinals. 2 heats, 5 skaters. Florence Brunel, Corinne Stoddart, Natalia Malashevska, Petra Jasipati, and Zoe Deltrap. 2 moving on, and up to 1 of the fastest third-place skaters.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Brunel quickest off the line. Stoddart right behind her. Another prime example of the benefit of being in those lower positions.
Stoddart closing the gap. Florence Brunel carrying her speed nicely. Malashevska in third. Going to be looking for opportunities here. There's one. She jumps up. It's tight. I think she makes it stick on Stoddart.
Door opens for Jasipati now. at the bell. It's Brunel Malashevska. Stoddart trying to battle back, but it is going to be Florence Brunel, Natalia Malashevska, and Petra Yashapati. Tentative time 43.42. So barring any incidents in the next one, keeping an eye on those third place times.
Great race for Malashevska. Nice for her to punch a ticket to the A final. We don't see any yellow dots for review on our board. I think it's going to be considered a clean race.
Malashevska, a skater who's been around. She has a European 500-meter championship to her name.
There was another look at that inside pass. Getting the shoulders ahead.
She won the World Cup classification in the 500 meters in 2018-2019, and also second in the classification 2022-2023. So chance for her to perhaps get back onto the podium. Heat number 2, and already Heat 1 saw a shakeup in the Crystal Globe with now Corin Stoddart not making the A final. Let's see what happens in heat number 2. Kristen Santos Griswold, Ariana Siegel, Michelle Velzeboer, Hannah Desmet, and Danae Blay. We already know, of course, that Sandra Velzeboer taking this one off for the week. A chance for that woman to get back on top in the standings.
Go to the start. Ready.
And she hangs on out of position 1. Desmet from position 4 goes to position 3.
Kristen Santos having won this start, though. Not easy to do against the likes of Michelle Velzeboer.
Ariana Siegel getting up into 4th.
Hannah Desmet sitting in 3rd right now. She's going to be wanting to look for a second place finish here at least, because you can't guarantee the time.
1 to go. Still Santos Griswold trying to go wire to wire. Desmet trying to find an opening. Here comes Ariana Siegel, and she goes into Desmet. And it is Santos Griswold, Velzeboer, Danae Blay, another True Grit Award of the day, coming back after an injury, getting up for 3rd, but Siegel made the late move. And her and Desmet on the corner. That was pretty high speed as well.
And this race is just a bit slower than the previous, but we've got to wait to see if there's any decisions in terms of advancements.
There's the late move. Happened at such high speed, tough to tell who's in front.
I think it's a bit of a late entry pass by Siegel on Desmet here. Desmet sitting in 3rd.
How close the blades to her face there. And so once again, to the review room, and they'll watch the angles and see what happens there.
So they're reviewing a legal late pass by Siegel on Desmet. Desmet was sitting in 3rd, top 2's qualification. However, 3rd is possible time advancement. We'll see if that's possible advancement to the A final.
And they are punching the decisions into that screen. So we do not have to wait long. Here comes the announcement.
After review, we give yellow card to skater number 25 from Italy.
There you go. It's just the yellow card to Siegel. No advancements. Desmet will go to the B final. Blay for the A final. And Michelle Velzeboer has a chance to not only go for a World Tour victory, but snatch a few points away from her sister's closest rivals.
So because Hannah Desmet was not in the top 2, she was not in the qualifying position. That's why there's no advancement. Here's that late pass by Siegel, being awarded the yellow card.
Seen a few this weekend.
Yeah,
Not often we see them even one in a weekend.
Yeah, they don't break out all that often, but 3 this weekend.
And there's your A final to come. Florence Brunel, Natalia Malashevska, Kristen Santos Griswold, Michelle Velzeboer, and Petra Yashapati skating for gold. The ice resurfacers are out. Another break to come. Is this our final break? Either way, we have a break coming up, and this might be you get to see Tyler Zane's segment. Stay with us. Back shortly.
24, as you can see on the screen. Om 16:24 gaan we door. En dan gaan we natuurlijk die finales rijden. De tweede en de A-finale deze 500 meter.
Now, if you've been watching over the course of the season, you know we've had our analysts getting back onto the ice to show us some of the ins and outs of short track. And once again, Tyler Dara is out on the ice to give us a lesson in short track.
Welcome back to Ice Level. Over the last 40 years, since the introduction of short track speed skating at the 1988 Olympics, we've seen a lot of evolution in skating technique and tactics, and today we're going to talk about that on the ice. So in the old technique of skating, what we would see is as skaters entered the corner, they would dive into the turn and they'd start their pivot really early. Their pivot would be their right foot coming down as early as the second block, and they'd be holding that pivot around to the fifth block or even later. What the pivot is a change of direction. As skaters enter the corner in this direction, they have to exit in that direction. So they're using the pivot as that high turn point at the apex of the corner, which is the center block. So what the pivot does, though, is it really slows down your speed and velocity. So what you want to do is shorten that pivot so you can carry more speed through the exit of the corner. This example here showcases a long pivot where the skater's right foot is down by block 2 and held until block 5. Today, we see skaters trying to shorten the pivot on the corner. And to do that, they'll enter a little bit wider on the entry of the turn, and they'll look to get 2 crossovers into the entry before that apex block and before they pivot. The crossover is simply the means of crossing your right foot over top of your left foot, and this is the best way you can build speed. And the reason is, when you're leaning over and you're crossing over, you can constantly be in a pushing motion, so you can build more speed as you go through the turn. And again, as we go through the entry a bit wider, skaters are gonna look to do 2 crossovers in before they hit that apex and really try to have a short pivot at this point of the corner. Now when they go to the exit, they're gonna quickly exit wider and try to extend the corner out as far as they can, lengthening the exit of the turn so they can carry more speed and shorten the straightaway. This example showcases a really short pivot where Dubois gets 2 crossovers in, short pivot, and off quick to the exit. When looking back at the old style of skating with that big long pivot, skaters would come off the exit of the turn a lot tighter and with a lot less speed. So to get down the distance of the straightaway, they'd have to move to straightaway strides. So they have a big long push and a long recovery off the right foot and the left foot, with the feet and knees coming back together before going down on the ice. One of the disadvantages of this is that it's not a very agile position to be in when you're on the straightaway. You can only go the direction that you're pushing from left or your right foot. In this video example, we see the long straightaway strides as the skater goes down the straight, full strides, full recovery. With the new style of skating, what we see is skaters exiting the corner a lot wider and carrying a lot more speed. So as a result, they start the straightaway a lot further down, so they have a shorter distance to cover. Now we see skaters transitioning to a weight shift or a shuffle down the straightaway. The advantage of this too is that the skaters are on 2 feet, so they can quickly react to anything going on around them. If they feel someone passing up their inside, they can shift over to the left. If they feel someone passing on their outside, they can shift their track over the right and defend their position. Here we see an example of the weight shift where the skater's right foot never loses contact with the ice. So what we used to see is a lot more acceleration and deceleration on the track. Skaters today are looking to reduce the amount of deceleration they have in the straightaway. The straightaway is the point of the track in which you're losing the most speed. So what you want to do is elongate that corner exit to shorten the straightaway and carry more speed into the next corner. And therefore we see skaters carrying more speed and able to go faster on the ice. A third change we've seen in technique is upper body position. So as a skater, when you're on the ice, you're fighting two different forces. One is ice friction and one is air friction. So skaters want to be as aerodynamic as possible. And what we used to see is skaters skating with a little bit more of an upright shoulder position. And what would happen is this is catching a lot of wind, and that's going to be creating a lot of air friction and slowing you down. So today we see skaters really working on rounding their shoulders and rounding their back to get more aerodynamic so that they can carry more speed. Here we see the nice low rounded shoulder position of Liu Xiaowang in position 2. Another change that we've seen in technique is how skaters load balance their left and right legs. What we used to see is skaters spend a lot of time on their right leg in the corner. So they'd have a quick left foot push on that right leg for that pivot, and they'd spend a lot of time on that right leg, and that would build a lot of lactic acid and fatigue that leg quickly. So now what we're seeing is skaters spend more time on that left foot on the entry. So as they're riding that left foot, they're continuing to push through and push that left foot through forward and gliding on that left foot at the end of the push before putting that right foot down. And what that allows them to do is balance the workload between their left and their right legs. Here's a nice example of Kristen Santos Griswold's nice long left turn push. So those are a few of the technical changes that we've seen in short track speed skating, and I'm excited to see how the sport can continue to evolve.
Thanks, Tyler. Always great to learn a little bit more about this sport. One final block of racing from here in Tilburg and a few more medals to be given out. Stay with us.
Vibe for sure. And,
sometimes Stan's a big brother and is like protective. That's some guys see him like that, so that's nice.
sometimes hard to see where her personality ends and mine begins. Almost one.
Where did we grow up? We grew up in a small city in Belgium called Mechelen. It was just me and Stan and our mom. We were a small little family, but it was a really nice childhood.
A nice house, close to the city, with a little dog. Always some other pets too.
Yeah.
They like animals.
Yeah. Well, when I grew up, I was more into gymnastics than I was into skating. We didn't start that early, so I was doing a lot of gymnastics every week. Just a normal childhood. Stan was a rollerblader more. And we started ice a bit later because we didn't know it existed. It's not really a big sport in Belgium. But once we got to know the sport, we really liked it.
We had family that lived in Canada for a while, and they came back and showed us how fun ice skating could be just at a local ice rink. I liked it, and I was racing with people who didn't know they were racing usually in the busy ice rink, and I wanted to do it as a sport.
Gradually, we realized that we could be pretty good, and then I think like 4 or 5 years in, we're like, oh, we could actually be among the best in the world, which when we started, we never expected. It's for countries like Canada and Korea, they're good at speed skating. Belgium doesn't really do it. Then we moved to the Netherlands. We were there for 5 years. We were part of the Dutch team, which was also awesome. And then when that ended, we came here. So this is the second year we're here in Canada, which is also really great. It's hard to move around all the time, but we've also been really lucky to be able to train with teams like that. In the European Championships 2 years ago, I got silver and he got silver and I got gold and he got gold, so that was also a really great family moment.
Yeah, that whole weekend.
Yeah, that whole weekend was awesome.
Our mother was there. She doesn't come to a lot of competitions, but she came there, and that I could do the exact copy of Hannah's result there was my career highlight. And, so I was very proud, and it was nice to share in the exact same result.
For me, it's also really exciting to watch him always finish the mixed relay, because I'm just in the middle waiting for him to finish, and that's really fun to see him do that. He's so good at it, and he got moves that nobody else can do, and yeah, very fun.
I think that the most exciting moments for me are always the last laps in a relay.
Can he make this one stick as they come to the line? He does it!
Even winning a B final there has felt like the nicest races I've done. Been unimportant relays sometimes, they're just really fun.
It really makes me nervous to see him race. I think that's both ways. We're more nervous to see each other race than for our own races. But yeah, it's so nice to see and be happy for each other when you win. I think he's always there when I'm racing because the girls are always before the guys, so he sees everything I do. For me, it's more difficult sometimes to watch his races, but it's great.
She does show love and support.
Yeah.
She's always my biggest fan, with Mom, I guess. But yeah, it's super important, I think, to have her close. We've been just the two of us pretty often in another country, so to not feel lonely and to feel at home, it's been super important that we were both together doing the same thing.
Yeah, this year is kind of a preparation for the Olympic year next year. We just want to repeat everything we did this year, next year, have a good ranking, have good racing skills, practice everything we need to practice so that we're ready, we know what to expect. Yeah, so I was the first girl to get an individual Winter Olympic medal in Belgium, which was super cool. I didn't know before that had never happened. I knew we were not that big in winter sports, but I didn't know it would be the first time, so it was really cool.
It was a special moment to see her win an Olympic medal, for sure. I don't think I knew how historic it was either until after. But yeah, just the Winter Olympics medal, it's super special for Belgium. I think now with Bart Swings, who's winning medals, and then Han at the same time, it's starting to feel like it's normal, but it's not normal yet for Belgium to win any winter medals. So it's something I'm proud of, that Hanne can do this.
Hopefully we can do it together next Olympics.
Dat heb je mooi gezegd. Het is inderdaad de finale tijd, de B-finale. Gaan we mee starten straks van de 500 meter voor de vrouwen. Up to come is de B-final. En die A-final in de women's 500 meter. En we gaan natuurlijk nog afsluiten straks. Wat is een redelijk mooi schema. Ruim voor 6 klaar met de relays bij de mannen. Met Nederland natuurlijk in de A-finale straks bij de relay mannen. Ja, dat betekent ook, Justin, dat we net nog van de scheidsrechters hoorden dat er iets bijzonders gaat gebeuren zo meteen met deze 500 meter.
Ja, toch in die meldpauze is er nog een review geweest. Verzoek van een van de coaches, en hebben de scheidsrechters zich nog een keer gebogen over de halve finale van 500 meter. Dan wordt hier bij ons in de jurytafel terug met revision.
Racing lights back on here in Tilburg. Time for some more finals. It's come fast and furious, particularly on the Sunday afternoons. 500 meters for women. B final, just 3 skaters. And the old, they borrow that from soccer, the magic spray?
A little icing of the arm there.
I have used it. I have had it applied to me once or twice. It does work. I mean, I guess a temporary numbing of whatever, but yeah, that's obviously after effects from that crunch into the boards with Ariana Seago. The 3 skaters. At least there'll be more space on the ice this time. Not so much for the final, though the A final has 6 skaters in a 500 meters.
Kleine correctie, we noemen dat geen advancement, maar we noemen het additional.
Out they come, and of course for Hanne Desmet, any chance to maximize the points to set things up for next weekend in Milan. There will be all to play for, so certainly that right arm is troubling her a little bit. She gave it a little shake out again.
B-final coming up for final rank position number 7 in the final ranking of the women's 500 meter. The B-final is up to come.
B-final coming up.
So if you're wondering where Corey Stoddard is right now, she's been advanced to the A final. So we'll be seeing her in the A final coming up next. Right now, we just have 3 skaters in the B. We will have 6 skaters in the A final.
We are trying to get that information on what happened.
Flying backwards. What a presentation. Here we go. First starting position is for
There we go. It will be a very crowded A final, but for now it's a very sparsely populated B final. And they're introduced down on the ice.
Go to the start. Ready.
And it is Blay off to the front. It's a race kind of the skating wounded out there. Blay and Desmet both involved in hard collisions, and Deltrap has as well.
Yesterday morning. So 3 skaters in this race. Deltrap looking up the inside of Desmet. A little bit late there, but Hannah Desmet holds her position. That kills a lot of the momentum for Deltrap. That's just leaving it to Desmet and Danae Blay now. Desmet looking inside. Danae Blay holding. No, Desmet gets through.
Opportunity for Blay to come back on the inside, but Desmet holds it off. That incident will get a review as well. There was the contact on the corner, and so
Ja, Hannah Desmet wint deze B-finale officieus. We zien hier een gele bal op het scherm. Maar Bolinto. Maar kijken of daar nog iets aan gaat veranderen. Maar dat heeft sowieso een fantastisch weekend gereden hier zien. En natuurlijk de kroning die gouden medaille op de relay in haar 4e World Tour van dit seizoen. Zeker ontzettend goed bezig, een mooi weekend hier gedraaid.
Another look at that inside pass by Hannah Desmet. A little bit late on the entry.
Not much in the way of contact there between the two. She kind of just skirted her way through.
Yeah, I think Danae Blay kind of just backed off there. Just 2 feet on the ice, just really stable footing position.
Over for third. The results are finalized. Desmet, Blay, and Deltrap 1, 2, and 3. And so we'll set just before, hopefully we'll get this in before the lights dim, but Stoddard was advanced from the previous semifinal. There was a review from the video room and of a possible late pass early in the race. Anyway, it resulted in Stoddard being advanced. So the lights are down, time for the introductions.
De road to the final zien. So now time for the women's 500 meter A final. First starting position for helmet number 27, Canadian Ice and Maple, Florence Bouguel. Starting position is helmet number 86. It's the Hungarian Falcon, Yara.
very crowded A final. There had been a review from that semifinals, and there was a ruling that it can be done after the fact to advance Kornstadter to the A final.
And that gives Kornstadter a nice opportunity here to gain some more points, gain some more ground on Sandra Velzebor. We're used to seeing Sandra Velzebor in these finals. She's won, I think, what, 3 out of 4 up to this point on the 500 today.
Tough position for her in a 500 meters to be all the way out there. Also, Kristen Santos Griswold, I believe, could take the lead once again.
Position 2, a little bit to the left. Go to the start. Ready.
Tough battle to get everyone through the corner safely. And they do somehow find a way, but it's Florence Brunel, Natalia Malashevska, and Michelle Velzebor off and away.
Bit of a gap for Yashapati. Kristen Santos takes advantage of that. Michelle Velzebor moving into second now.
Chance for Michelle Velzebor to take away some top points positions away from her sister's closest rivals. But it's Brunel right now in front at the bell. Santos Griswold trying to get up into the medals. Up the inside of Malashevska. They both stay on their skates, but all speed is gone. Brunel will take it though.
One escape from Brunel. She did a tremendous job in that race. Once she took the lead, not hesitating on getting her 2 crossovers in to maintain her speed throughout the race. Then she went a little bit more defensive to finish. That is clinching her the gold medal there.
It is a golden day for the Canadian women. Courtney Sereau earlier, now Florence Brunel. And there's Sandra Velzebor congratulating not only her sister, but also saying, hey, you took away one of those higher points positions from my closest rivals.
Well, a roller coaster of emotions right now with the Ice Maples having not the 1,000-meter finish they hoped on the men's side, but then Florence Brunel and Courtney Sereau taking gold today for the Canadian Ice Maples on the women's side.
And we are not yet talking about bronze medal just yet, because in truth be told, we don't quite know, because there was the move late. Santos Griswold tried to get up into third, and what they are looking at is a possible arm block in the straight. That would have been Natalia Malashevska. Right, there's the incident. They all stayed up, but in the end, I still think, did Santos Griswold stay up for third? Either way, that's what's getting looked at.
Yeah, well, Yashapati then started looking to the outside, so she was in the mix there as well, coming around, but Kristen Santos Griswold, yeah, I think Kristen's going to take that for bronze. If that result stands, that will put Kristen Santos Griswold back into the lead. It's ping pong here, going back between Sandra Velzebor and Kristen Santos Griswold.
1 week still to go, and I imagine next week we might see both skaters going in all 3 distances. Just checking on Michelle Velzebor. No, she does have some World Cup hardware before. A couple years ago in Almaty, she has a 500-meter silver medal in Kazakhstan. It looks like we may be getting our final results. Different kinds of drama today. Still some left for us as the men's relay awaits. It looks like we could be getting a final ruling here. And down to the ice we go.
After review, we give no penalty due to shared responsibility between skater number 9-7 from Poland and skater number 2 from USA.
So shared responsibility, both of them going shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow on that straight. And that does mean I see the podium jacket being thrown to Kristen Santos Griswold. She does get gold, just ahead of Petra Yashapati.
Because bronze.
Bronze. That's what I meant. You know what I meant. Thank you.
Here's another look. The inside pass from Kristen Santos Griswold, carrying her speed through the exit. Arms there of Malashevska.
And they both almost just got tangled
Santos
arms there.
Pushing back there. That's the shared responsibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the women's 500 meters at the ISU Short Track World Tour Tilburg 2025 Odido Cup. The medals will be presented by our assistant referee uit Nederland, Manon van Hoeven. In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing the USA Eagles, Kristen Santos Griswold. Kristen Santos Griswold, bronze. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing the Dutch Lions and Lionesses Tilburg, hier is Michelle Velzenboer. Vanavond Polonaise bij Team NL en de NTS. Het zilver is voor Michelle Velzenboer. And in first place and winner of the gold medal, representing the Canadian Ice Maples, Florence Brunel. Go Canada, go! Gold medal, Florence Brunel. And let's put our three athletes together. Dan kunnen we het nog één keertje laten horen. Nog één keer knallen voor deze drie geweldenaren. Kristen Santos Griswold, onze Michelle Velzenboer en Florence Brunel.
So Florence Brunel, the 21-year-old from Trois-Rivières, which is right along the St. Lawrence River between Montreal and Quebec City. I believe that is a first individual gold medal at the senior level, be it World Cup or now World Tour. The multiple-time World Junior Champion. Of course, an invaluable member of various relay sides, now gets her own glory. Michelle Velzenboer in second. You saw the proud sister applauding her off. And then Kristen Santos Griswold, another bronze medal for the USA Eagles. They had it mixed relay, Corin Stoddard earlier, and now Kristen Santos Griswold.
You could be the fire.
Canadian women, through the first 2 weekends in Montreal, picked up no individual medals. And they've certainly roared back in a very big way. Picked up a couple. Danae Blais, gold in the 1,000 in Beijing. Brunel picked up silver in the 500 in Beijing. And then silver again in Seoul.
Here's a look at the overall Crystal Globe standings now for the women's side. Kristen Santos Griswold in first, 878. Corey Stoddard, 850 in second.
And then I think it's just another 2 points to Sandra Velzeboer. Milan is going to be special for many, many reasons, and I think it's going to be a lot going down to those women with those races going down to the wire.
Well, it's going to be a lot going on in Milan. It's obviously the test event for the Olympics. The Italians are going to want to do well at home, try to secure some victories. And for some skaters, even pre-qualifications for their Olympic team are on the line in terms of World Cup standings and points. So a lot to be fighting for there.
And as we've also figured out today, not figured out, it's now a little bit more open in the men's Crystal Globe. Not saying it's still a tall order with William Donjanu well out in front, but it's not over.
It's definitely, yeah, it's not over the way these last two events have gone. For Jens van het Wout and William Donjanu certainly changed the dynamic. It's not what we were expecting. So it ain't over till it's over.
B final, men's 5,000 meter relay. Chinese Lungs, Hungarian Falcons, Japanese Ninjas, British Royals.
Right.
Theo Collins starting things off for the Royals. Koike Katsunori for the Ninjas. Moon Wonjun for the Falcons, and Li Kun for the Chinese Lungs. And so, different look. Chinese Lungs, of course, this weekend with their top team off at the Asian Winter Games. And so, first two relays of the season went to the Canadian Ice Maples, second to China. And one of my favorite helmets of the weekend on the ice, the inspired by Maverick from Top Gun helmet for Peter Riches. And he goes to Adam Hill Jr.
Controlled start to the relay as we're used to in this men's 5,000 meter.
No times to worry about. Of course, they're also, in addition to the Crystal Globes, we've talked about it a bit, each discipline has its own standings as well, its own points, and so with 2 victories, you could say B, replacement, bench, what have you, Chinese Lungs, the non-usual guys we've seen have the task of getting as much points as they can in the discipline standings for their nation.
All smooth exchanges so far, and it's such a critical part of this relay. Those clean handoffs between teammates.
Still good so far. Theo Collins leading the way. There it is, Niall Tracy.
Jose Hayashi looking up the inside on Yashipati. It's not there.
Now the games start to be a little bit more afoot.
As we saw earlier today, you got to be so careful on those passes during the exchange corner because your teammate has to readjust their position to get out for that exchange with limited time.
Vincent Nogradi sitting there in second for the Falcons. It's Watanabe Keita now pushing in Koike Katsunori. And there is a move for the lead with Moon Wonjun.
Canada met een mooie truc. De tegenstandershalting.
Powerful play. Maybe a little too powerful, just coming right up.
Well, it's a balance too on the exchange, right? If you over push and you send your teammate into a competitor in front of you, there's Hayashi going again, making the pass this time. Can it stick on the exchange? It can.
Yeah, the teammate there following all the way around and was there in position as he made the pass. Yoshinaga Kazuki.
Rich is getting bumped to fourth there. So we're seeing some changes to the order. So Watanabe looking like he's setting up. Oh, had a look to the inside, but it wasn't there.
Right up, pressed up right behind. The Falcons still 4 line astern as the Royals taking a look. Now the speed really picking up. Inside 20 laps to go. Nice move for the lead.
Again, it's around that 20 lap marker, then we start really paying attention that there's some moves being made. Pace picking up.
The Ninjas did pick up a silver medal in the relay in Seoul.
Chinese Lungs moving into second. As you can see for the first bit, we were in those mid-9s, 9.5s to 9.7s. Now athletes are tracking around 8.8, 8.7s. So it's definitely a change in pace.
Is this a chance to make the move? Not quite. There's an opening, and there's an opening, though, for the Brits as they get up into second, and the Falcons into third. Almost a complete reshuffling.
Niall Tracy taking the lead for the British Royals.
Hayashi, Kosei back up the inside. Little bit of a stretch now in the field as they come up to C12 to go. But then it gets squeezed back up again. Taking a look, 3 wide.
Gonna get a review on that.
But everybody changing their, except the Chinese Lungs, changing their exchanges.
The Falcons go down without a tag there.
Was that a tag? I think he might have just gotten it.
Yeah, maybe a finger.
I think that one, the first one will be reviewed. I think that was self-inflicted, but the Ninjas have recovered to get up right up upon the Chinese Lungs. So the Japanese program 2 medals this season on the World Tour, one of them in this men's relay, that coming in Seoul.
Niall Tracy trying to close this gap for his Royals team. 2-footing on that exit, a little bit of instability. Here's Collins, that gap is closing now.
Going wide. That opens up some space. The Chinese Lungs staying out of the danger. They had the 3 skaters squeezed together in front of them, and when they all went out wide, that just allowed the door to open for the Lungs to take the lead. But now the Ninjas pressing. 1 more exchange allowed. The Royals have slipped a little bit more. Will be tough. Niall Tracy is in. Not a bad guy to finish. Hayashi Kosei takes a look.
The Lungs are doing a tremendous job here. Controlling from the front. 1 to go.
Is there another move coming? Tracy's looking. Hayashi's looking. But it is a solid B relay win for the Chinese Lungs. Missed it in the last corner. There was a British Royal going down, but it wasn't Niall Tracy. It was
after
someone,
the exchange.
Right, yeah, because Tracy was in. A little shaken up. It's Theo Collins who's favoring one of his, I thought he saw him grabbing a knee, but he's up and seems to be okay.
So we're looking at a possible late pass from the Falcons on the Royals. That won't impact the result, though, as the Falcons had later fallen after that incident.
This might be it here, where everybody was squeezed out and the Chinese Lungs just go, oh, we'll take that, thank you very much. And that's the fall on their own.
the teams had gone off exchange there for the Ninja, so that was them re-correcting their exchange order.
Volgend jaar, oudschaatsen.nl in de gaten, want volgend jaar is hier in Tilburg een Europees kampioenschap.
Jose Kashi kind of losing his footing on that last lap when he was looking to set for a pass.
Tracy tried to get up there for third. They closed that gap. Zhang Bohao.
Well, talking about securing as many points as they could, the Chinese lungs for their team, and they've done this. They've collected as many points as they can in this B final.
After the B final and go out and win it, so securing every single point that they can. And now that brings us to the final event of the weekend, the A final, the men's relay. And there's the trophy. And now for the introductions.
Oké, Tilburg, we gaan ons opmaken voor het slotstuk. De Crystal Globe glinstert hier in Tilburg. Die gaat mee naar Milaan. This is the men's 5,000 meter relay A final. Ladies and gentlemen, on first starting position, here they are. Steven Dubois, Felix Roussel, Jordan Virgil, Maxime Laun, the Canadian Ice Maple. Second starting position as for the bronze medal winners of the European Championships. Hier zijn Stijn Desmet, Van Petre, Enzo Groos, the Belgian Ice Bear. Okay, Tilburg, final de nullen. Third start position. Hier zijn Jens van der Waal, Teun Boer, Daan Kos en Shinky Knecht, de Dutch. Position, the reigning European champions, Pietro Sigel, Lucas Beckenhauser, Thomas Nannini, Lorenzo Provitali, the Italian Gladiator.
That's become something of their custom. The Italian Gladiators tuning up the orchestra. As we get to relay final time. And so indeed, the Canadians will not have William Dongenou for the final. The yellow card, his second of the weekend, excludes him from this. So it's Steven Dubois, Jordan Pierre-Gilles, Maxime Laun, and Felix Roussel. And when your guy coming off the bench is a Olympic gold medalist in the relay, not a bad option to have.
Not a bad option at all. He's got some great experience. He's been in these pressure situations before, so Max Laun knows how to handle himself.
Pierre-Gilles to start for the Ice Maples.
Go to the start. Right.
It's Thomas Natalini for the Gladiators. Tuan Boer for the Lions, and Ward Petre for the Belgian Ice Bears. And Belgian Ice Bears is a good example of a team that you don't have to have all the best skaters. It is the best team that really comes through.
The Belgian Ice Bears have just been skating their relays phenomenally this weekend. Stan Desmet's had a few last lap heroics for their team. So awesome to see them up in the A final here. This is a glimpse, those skaters on the ice just exchange of who's going to be finishing for their teams today.
The second skaters. So again, Steven Dubois to finish things off this time. Usually he is the fourth person on the ice. And so again, if you're replacing your usual finisher with a guy who's that fast, it's nice to have options.
Absolutely.
Felix Roussel on the ice, showing no ill effects. from an earlier tumble. And already a healthy pace. Let's look at Danjanu watching his teammates, cheering them on. It's always interesting. It's the last event of the day, and you see all the teams, staff members, coaches, athletes, gathered around.
Everybody's tuning in for it.
We are glad you are as well, wherever you are. Laoun, Shinky Connect gets an ovation. The Canadians and Chinese Lungs are the only teams to pick up victories this season. It is going to be a completely different podium from December in Seoul. That had China, Japan, South Korea 1, 2, and 3. So some different nations, teams on the podium, and still there's a move for second. And Natalini just stands right up as he had Toon right in front of him. Steven Dubois, Stan Desmet, Jens van het Wout, Pietro Siegel, all just lethal finishers. This is a close race coming down to the final exchange. Watch out. Still the Canadians in front, in control of this one.
Here comes Shinky Connect. Looking to advance his team's position. Changing exchanges. Felix Roussel keeps them at bay.
He's gonna have to fit it in here.
We'll see if the Lions readjust their exchange order. It looks like they're gonna go do so.
They'll get back on with everybody. And the Italians missed theirs, and they're gonna change it up now. Siegel went way out wide, and he had Natalini, who's still waiting for an exchange.
Speckenhauser's gone down.
Speckenhauser.
There needs to be a tag up for the Gladiators. Here comes Siegel. There's the tag off. We've got 3 teams clear now. This could play very well in the hands of the Belgian Ice Bears. There is an incident review.
So the Italians have been caught out. They had a skater way out wide and just waiting. It was Natalini waiting for the exchange, but Speckenhauser was not in a place to do it, and eventually there was the tumble.
Well, 24 laps to go. If the Gladiators can keep up this pace that they're putting out right now, they have an opportunity to try and close this gap.
They are going almost a second quicker the last time around, but the other teams might be wise to it. And what is being looked at, it has been cleared. It ended up, they decided it was a self-inflicted fall, but it's about a half a lap for the Gladiators to pull back, so they will be full gas the rest of the way.
So it's still all square right now, all even. The Gladiators trying to close this down. Half a lap, you're looking at about a 4.5 second gap that they're gonna have to close. They got some work cut out for them.
It's coming down bit by bit with 19 to go. We'll see. The Ice Bears hanging on behind the Lions, behind the Ice Maples. Canada, Netherlands, and Belgium. Roussel, there's an opening, Koss not gonna take it.
Roussel's getting a nice defensive track pattern here. He's very aware of what's going on behind him. The Gladiators are really starting to close this in. It's about a corner gap now, down from a little over half a lap before.
We know how much fight they have on their skaters. It is Siegel, a man who never says die, and he's closing in just as the Ice Bears start to lose contact. And yes, the Netherlands on the front.
Coming up on 12 laps to go now. Ice Maples making a pass on the exchange.
And a bump.
Shinky Connect bumping. The Ice Bears taking the lead.
How about this?
Max Laoun going right back to the lead.
And look who's coming.
Gladiators
the Azuli Blue. The Dutch Lions, Canadian Ice Maples, Belgian Ice Bears. And never count out the Gladiators. Inside, 9 to go.
Pietro Siegel really doing everything he can for his team. The legs will be getting heavy. They've been putting a lot of work.
But you get into a position at the time when anything can happen. And you're right there to benefit. Opening is there. Van het Wout not going to take it. 2 more events with things being looked at.
And the Gladiators are back in this race.
What is left in those legs? Laoun in front, Connect closing.
We're coming up. This will be the 4-lap to go marker for Peter Roussel. Dan Koss struggling on that corner exit. That opens up a gap for the Canadian Ice Maples.
There is some breathing room now. Thunborg comes in. There will be one exchange allowed after this one. They are preparing their anchor legs.
Gladiators making an outside move on the Ice Bears. Can Stan Desmet respond? 2 laps to go.
It is Dubois in front. Here comes Jens van het Wout. He has had a day to remember. Diving up the inside. Can he make it stick? It is Jens van het Wout.
He's down.
Dubois goes down. The Dutch are over the line first. And the Belgian Ice Bears also celebrate. Wait.
Lots to review.
So much to review. The Ice Bears, could this be a medal for them? But there is so much to review. The first incident has been cleared. That was when the Gladiators took themselves out.
What a battle unfolding in those last laps.
Oh my.
That's what the people came for. We got a huge Belgian contingent in the corner waving their flag.
So the second incident, I can't even remember all of them, but there's one that's a possible Canadian inside to out move. And then the one at the end is a possible Dutch on Canada move. And then there's another
possible Dutch going down here, so let's pay attention. That was an earlier move. That's the one I believe that was cleared with that Belgian inside pass. Now we'll see what we're looking at here. Shinky Connect on the outside.
Oh, that was with the Canadians, I remember. He had to tuck in.
There's when Speckenhauser goes down in this corner.
On his own. So, we're not done yet.
No.
I think we're waiting for a few minutes on this one.
What I think we know...
That was the one where Connect went out wide.
What I think we know is the Italians were cleared, and it seems like the Belgians are cleared. So is there any calls? Here's the inside. There's the incident between Jens van het Wout, Dubois, that sends Dubois out into the boards. That's a hard fall.
That was a very hard fall, and he didn't get up until the other two had crossed the line. He tried to stay up, but that's a tough hit.
Well, it's so hard at the end of a relay when your legs are that heavy and the ice is that chewed to stay on your feet.
Shot in the arm, that would be for the Belgian Ice Bears if this result holds, but we don't know really what is going to hold and what isn't. There still could be a rather sizable reshuffling.
Well, it looks like I'm seeing the incident with the Canadians has been cleared. So now it's a question of that last.
I'm seeing of the 4, the first and third are cleared. The second, one involving the Canadians, one involving the Dutch, are the ones still being looked at.
Well, I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Just put the computer down.
Yeah. We'll let the tension build.
I think there were fans who had started to leave, but now they're all standing behind us on the causeway here. They are punching in the results.
You have all 4 teams staying on the ice.
So one of them, okay, let's just let them take it. One moment.
After review, we give no penalty due to shared responsibility between Canada and Netherlands.
No penalty in the end. That means the party continues. So the Dutch Lions win at home. They take both the relays today. And can you believe this? The Belgian Ice Bears get a silver medal. And the Italian Gladiators pick up the bronze. continue long into the night, although Carnival approaches, so I think this is just going to continue in the southern part of the Netherlands. There you have it. Dutch Lions ending things with a bang. Ice Bears picking up a memorable medal for them. And so here, shared responsibility as they call it. This is the one at the end, I believe. So Van het Woud, they were pretty level going into the corner. So that was the big one. I think that was the final determinant. But we'll throw it down for the victory celebration.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the team relay 5,000 meter at the ISU Short Track World Tour Tilburg 2025 Odido Cup. The medals will be presented by our tournament director, Mr. Cees Juffermans. And the presents will be presented by the multiple European, World and Olympic champion, Yara van Kerkhof. In third place and winners of the bronze medal, Mattia Antonioli, Thomas Nadalini, Lorenzo Previtali, Pietro Siegel, Lucas Beckenhauser, the Italian Gladiators. Terzo posto, medaglia da bronza, the Italian Gladiators, l'Italia. In second place, and winners of the silver medal, Stijn Desmet, Wart Petre, Enzo Proost and Warre van Damme, the Belgian Ice Bears.
Ideale plek om het te doen, denk ik. Ideale plek om het te doen. Ja, lekker ik een half thuispubliek.
Het wordt een Vlaamse Polonaise in Kruikenstad, Tilburg, de Belgian Ice Bears. Silver. first place, winners of the gold medal. Hier zijn Teun Boer, Itzhak de Laat, Shinky Knecht, Daan Kos, Sven Roes en Jens van het Woud. Hier hebben we Desmet.
Geweldig. Dankjewel. You okay? Hangen we nou hierop? Nice.
Wat een schitterend moment. Cees Juffermans en natuurlijk Yara van Kerkhof. Bij haar ploeggenoten. Het goud omhangen hier in Tilburg in eigen huis. Itzhak de Laat, Daan Kos, Jens van het Woud, Sven Roos, Shinky Knecht en Teun Boer voor goud.
En dan zetten we ze natuurlijk nog bij elkaar in Tilburg. Wat mooi dat jullie er allemaal bij gebleven zijn. Uitverkocht huis. En dan kunnen we het nog één keer laten horen.
Final thoughts?
Exciting finish to this World Tour stop in Tilburg. I don't think we could ask for any more action, any more drama. Great to see some new faces on this podium in the relay. Shout out to obviously the Dutch Lions for that victory. The Belgian Ice Bears stepping it up big time for that silver medal. And of course, the Italian Gladiators claiming the bronze. What a weekend.
Never say die from the Italian Gladiators. Milan's up next. That is next weekend. I think a lot of people are going to be celebrating this evening here in the Netherlands. Tilburg has been an absolute treat, but we roll on next weekend in Milan. Signing off until then, on behalf of Tyler Dara, the entire crew, see you next weekend from Milan. I'm Gavin Day. Goodbye.
Vast nog een rondje doen hier in Tilburg.
Twee keer goud op de relay. De vrouwen en de mannen. En de vrouwen vieren mee. De winnen feesten mee met de mannen. En we gaan rond hier in Tilburg. Nog één keer in Tilburg. De Dutch Lionesses. De Dutch Lions.
absolute held of heldin van Team NL.